Licensing reimagined.
Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying to selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Sun up to sun up from Monday to Sunday. We maxing our limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving a mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation. I'm finessing a visit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 7, Dutton Ranch recap, review, and reaction. Wait, no, that was the other day. No, this is Stat Figures. Yeah, we got UFC Belgrade. We are in Serbia, so we're gonna be talking some UFC. So the Dutton Ranch was the other day, Wheezy. So what is up? You looking forward to UFC Belgrade?
I mean, it's going to have to be really good if it's going to live up to that last episode of Dutton Ranch, my friend. But I got a funny feeling that it's going to, because when you tape this card, if any of you guys know any Croatian people, any Serbian people, any people of Yugoslavian, what was the old Yugoslavian descent, these people love fighting. They're combat sports fans. They're a fighting people. And we're getting a bunch of new Serbian fighters that are being signed to the roster for this card. And, of course, we're getting to see Dusko Todorovic and Uros Medic as well, who are already on the roster. I think we're going to be in for a great night of fights in a fighting country, in a place where they're hungry for the UFC. So I think that this is a very underrated card, because a lot of these aren't household names as far as UFC fighters go. But when you watch the tape on these guys, you get why they made some of these fights, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I actually think on paper it's probably one of the most, if not the most violent card of the entire year. We got a bunch of newcomers, and I'm looking forward to pretty much every single newcomer. We got a lot of new violent fighters and some very violent matches on this card. So if you're a fan of violence and fun fights, you're going to be a big fan of this card. It's also another early start time, which I've been loving. So this card is going to kick off at 10 o'clock Eastern time, which is pretty cool as well. So I'm looking forward to this card quite a bit. And then I guess next week, we got like an Apex card, which I was looking into that one early, and it only has 9 fights booked for some reason.
Yeah. And it's like not like other ones have been canceled. So I think they're probably still good. They're going to add a lot of late fights to that card, I'm thinking, man. And we're probably going to hear about a lot of them this week.
God. Hopefully you don't announce them like on fight week. Like announce 3 fights on fight week would be horrible. But
yeah.
And then we got UFC 330 in 2 weeks as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this card. Looking forward to breaking it down. Before we do, so if you guys could smash the like button for us. Subscribe to the channel. We go live every Sunday at 7:15 Eastern time. We also go live for the Fight Companion. Had a lot of people watching the Fight Companion yesterday, and it was a fun card, very fun card. And if you guys are watching on the replay, leave us a comment. If you guys are watching on X, hit the repost. We do appreciate that. Let's shout out the sponsor of the show, and it's going to be Underdog Fantasy. Right now, if you go to Underdog Fantasy and use code DFSBTN, you'll get $50 free and bonus funds when you play with your first $5 lineup. If you like free money and you want $50 free, check it out and use that code DFSBTN. So you guys can vote to see who needs to get help. The options this week are Mike Davis, Magomed Tuchalov, Ismail Bonfim, and Steve Urseg. So we'll go through the chat real quick, and then we'll do a quick recap of UFC Abu Dhabi, and then we'll get into UFC Belgrade. So first person in the chat is going to be the Milkman. What's up, Milkman? Saying Ismail did his Jalton Almeida impression, and honestly, he did great. He did do a great job. The old single leg while getting hit with elbows to the side of the head was freaking awesome. That was amazing. Surprised no Guskov, the needs help poll, got potential, once in a lifetime opportunity, and threw 5 punches. Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, Guskov can definitely go on there as well. If we had a 5th slot, he'd be finding his way there. We got Swinger, the dynamic duo is back. Stat Diggers, let's go. What's up, Swinger? We got Jim in the building. I'll watch later, heading to work. Please timestamp the Dutton Ranch recap. So that was a different video. It was a really good episode, so you guys have to check it out if you haven't. We got AJ Worst in the building. We got Eileen Perez's butthole in the building. Dustin Jacoby is a bum. He kind of looked like a bum, but Syed looked really, really good as well. Not betting solo at a discount will haunt me for years. Yeah, I think me and Weezy were both on him. It was kind of sweat-free. Bonfim quit a lot quicker than I think many people expected. Falter coming for all your calves. Let's go. On a few week heater, Steve getting chin got me right. I feel like a crackhead. That must be an interesting feeling there. Sub Brady and Unk, another successful weekend. Yes, sir. Bonfima's really fallen off. Yeah, it's getting sad at this point. I wouldn't be shocked if they cut him tomorrow. We got Bobby saying, let's go. We got a bunch of kill or be killed fighters on this card. It's no crotch sniffer weekend. Not really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's really any crotch sniffers that I can think of off the top of my head. Andre Fialo in the building. What's up, Andre Fialo? Hopefully you're doing well. Also, we got Dr. Peener. Sup, fellas? Just got back from Steve Urseg. His package was fine, but I taught him to block overhands. Hopefully, man. He hasn't figured it out yet. So it's Dennis Buzukja fight week, yes, sir. We got Meat Rocket in the building. What is up, Meat Rocket? We got Forrest. What's up? I had a very profitable weekend between UFC and PFL. The UFC card was decent, but the PFL card was incredible. PFL is fastly coming up. I did not watch PFL. I don't even know if it was today or yesterday. I've been so busy trying to get this card done because I'm going on like a mini vacation. Also, F. Bonfim couldn't survive 6 seconds. Sola 2-3 was so close. Yeah, it was. Mateusz from Rebecki is the chump. Whoa, you can't call Mateusz the chump, man. You can't do that. Mateusz from Rebecki is no chump, man. He's no chump. Rebecki to shave the ass of Prepolec violently, potentially. What was I don't know. I went back to watch the fight today just to laugh because we were watching on the Fight Companion and we were just confused. Why is he wrestling?
Why are you wrestling? You never wrestle, and you've been submitted in like 2/3 of your losses. Why wrestle? It didn't make any sense.
It was hilarious, man. We got safety in the building. What is Rude Boy took an L this week, ready to bounce back next week, and let's get it, man. Poor Urseg, man, so close to a title. Yeah, he was in that Pantoja fight, man. He does. Urseg needs help, but hey, Timarov cashes that inside the distance plus 225. There you go. All right, so let's do a quick recap of UFC Abu Dhabi. And I kept it very, very light, Weezy, because in the past I've just been screwed on, the cards in the Middle East. There's always, some things that go wrong. The locker rooms are painted. There's no air conditioning in the arena. Et cetera, et cetera. But it was weird. Like last night, everything kind of went to plan. Like there really wasn't many surprises at all. The only surprise really was the Tuchilov fight going the distance when the fight goes or the fight doesn't go is like minus 1,000. That was really the only surprise of the week. And that was my only loss of the week. I had the Tuchilov Ribeiro under 1.5 rounds in a parlay. And then I had a sprinkle on the Tuchilov submission at like plus 800. I don't mind that submission sprinkle because he did wrestle and he got 8 takedowns. I don't remember him getting 8 takedowns, but and he did have one official attempted submission, but didn't hate the sub sprinkle, but yeah, the under, it looked awful because he just looked horrified. He was horrified of Brenton Ribeiro, which, it's not a good sign, not a good sign going forward. So that was my lone loss of the week. I had Axel Sola inside the distance at plus 150 for a unit. That was, kind of sweat free. I knew as soon as like Bonfim shot a takedown, like the fight was over. Like, what are you doing, Ismail? Like, this can't possibly. Why are you trying to wrestle the much, much bigger, Axel Sola? And why are you not letting go of this single leg? What is he doing? And then Sola got the finish, so that was big. I had the Patterson fight doesn't go to decision in 2 parlays. That was big. I had Walter Walker submission in round 1 at plus 500. That was big. Oh, and then I had Hussein. I think my worst bet of the night outside of the Tuchilov under was Hussein inside the distance. Just really made me sweat for the first fight of the night. It was too early to sweat, man. Like I thought he was about to take Cody Gibson's corpse to the decision for a second, but he ended up getting like an arm triangle with like 1.5 minutes left. So I was very happy with how last night played out. It's one of those cards where it was short and sweet and just very efficient as well. So I had only 6 units of action, ended up going up 3.8 units because of the Walker sub 1, because of the Sola inside the distance. And then I also had a couple bets on the Dulatov under and Dulatov round 1, which I really liked as well. So obviously that fight didn't happen. But yeah, and by the way, prayers for Islam Dulatov. I don't know if anybody's heard from him or if he's even alive, but apparently this guy pulled out of a fight against Wellington Turman. So Thoughts and prayers to Islam Dulatov. Hopefully you're alive, man. I mean, if you're pulling out against Wellington Turman, something must be seriously wrong. But regardless, I was happy with how last week played out. It's been a light week for me last week. The week before was pretty light, but this is a week in UFC Belgrade where I feel like I'm going to be attacking it probably a lot heavier this week. So Weezy, how did UFC Abu Dhabi go for yourself?
It wasn't bad for me. I really enjoyed watching the fights. I was up 0.13 units with a 1% return on investment. So it was a true break-even week for me, but always better to be a little bit above that zero line than a little bit below it. But, I made some really good bets, but I made two really bad bets, what really just wound up being bad bets, and that was the Mike Davis money line. I mean, what a dog shit performance by Mike Davis there. I was going to make the same joke that I made after the Melissa Mullins fight where she got submitted by Bia, saying why didn't you tell me they were a grappler? Because that was just so bad. I mean, what did you think he was going to do, Mike? Well, I mean, he's after the fight, he's calling him gay, saying that the guy's a crotch sniffer and all this. And apparently it started this discussion on Twitter. I saw Zach Pauga post about it, saying about if you are somebody that's getting backed by your fans, if you come from the type of a country where they actually back their own fighters and support their own fighters, you can be a crotch sniffer and boring. But if you aren't selling a bunch of merch and stuff like that, they're going to actually have talks with you before the fight and say hey, you'd be so much more exciting and we'd be so much more prone to sign you if you fought in a way that was a lot more fan friendly. And Mike Davis, went in there and evidently thought that Nurullo Aliyev was going to stand in front of him and box with him, and seemed kind of, I don't know, surprised that Nurullo wrestled him. I mean, it was such a bad performance by Davis. He settled in all those spots. He showed very little urgency getting back to his feet. And in all those shots, he's not digging underhooks. I haven't seen stone hips like that since the last time I saw Kurt Hollabaugh fight. And Kurt Hollabaugh has the hips of a statue. He just doesn't move them at all. And that's something that we really saw from Davis there. This is a guy who's supposed to come from a wrestling background, but looked like he'd never wrestled before. He's literally better than Aliyev everywhere, but just couldn't show any kind of urgency stuffing takedowns. And then he had so many excuses after the fight. Aliyev is gay, neck injury. He was sick, but he felt fine. I think that there was something about his horoscope that day that really spooked him. And then there's a little bit of dry skin. You're there in the desert. Felt like he had to use more lotion than usual. There were a lot of things evidently that went wrong, but what really went wrong for me was that I bet on him and lost the unit. And then I like Damian Rebecki a lot, man. I thought that fight was going to play out really close, but Zainikov was just phenomenal in the clinch, and he outworked him at distance and made it look pretty easy. So I lost a total of 3 units on the Davis money line, and I had a 2-unit bet on the Rebecki money line. I cashed on the Walter Walker money line. That was easy money. I cashed on the under 2.5 rounds for Axel Sola versus Bonfim. I had Axel Sola as the ass shaving of the week, but the way I saw the fight going, it was kind of stupid to lay minus 220 on his money line when you could get the under 2.5 at minus 115. So I played that for a total of 2.5 units. I played it 1.5 units straight. And then the other one, I parlayed the under 2.5 with Bonfim Sola with Magomed Ankalaev to win and over 1.5 rounds, which got his money line price from minus 500 down to minus 120. The only bet that could have hit but didn't was the Ponzinibbio Patterson under 1.5 rounds, which I got at minus 115. Patterson looked great. I mean, and Santiago didn't run away from the fight, but it just took him until a little bit after 1.5 rounds to find the finish. So up 0.13 units. Just disappointed with Mike Davis's performance. Really disappointed with Rebecki's performance. He just looked so much better on tape. And frankly, he looked fucking awful out there on Saturday. That wasn't the same fighter that I saw on tape when I taped it. So, yeah, up 0.13 units. Unfortunate that I couldn't have made more off of the card, but at least we didn't lose.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, I've gotten rinsed on some of these Middle Eastern cards, these past couple of years. So I was winning week's a winning week, But yeah, Mike Davis, man. Mike Davis.
Oh, God, man. What the fuck was that, Brady? What the fuck was that? What was that? I mean, like, that was just horrible. It was like he didn't know the guy was going to wrestle. He wasn't digging underhooks. He just fed him his hips on all those takedown attempts. Just fucking awful, man. He should be ashamed of that performance.
No, it's embarrassing. Like, he used to be one of my favorite fighters. Now he turned into like probably the second or third biggest crybaby in the UFC, right behind like Dante Johnson. No offense, Dante. I know you watched the show, but I mean, this guy's just filled with excuses. I remember after the Zion fight, he came out with the video saying he was hurt. There were paint fumes. I mean, there was a laundry list of excuses. And then he came out after this fight and he was calling this guy gay and this and that. And he came out with like a huge list of excuses. So I want to read what Mike Davis said after the fight. And if you could just keep track of each excuse, Weeze, I want to see how much excuses he had. Just keep track, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Here we go.
Got it.
So Mike Davis said, I had a plan, but God had a better one. He says, look, I'm sorry for the disrespect. I'm annoyed and frustrated at myself. Norelio did the one and only thing he's good at. You casuals don't understand the sacrifices for these fights and why I'm so outraged. Okay, here we go. I just left my family for a month. My dogs just had surgery before I left. One is very sick and I haven't been home at all. He says he spent over 10 grand on camp. He's been sick all fight week and he had a tear in his neck. He had to get a shot just to be able to move. He says he's flew 17 hours to his territory with just 2 cornermen, and he still didn't pull out of the fight. He says it wouldn't have been fair to pull out for him or Aliev. He says he's frustrated to do all this and prepare for a fight just to get held for 13 minutes and punched 8 times. It hurts his heart. He says, I can't break the locks of someone who grabs gloves, but I promise that's all I'm going to work on. It'll never happen again.
I caught 5 excuses. Sick dog, long flight, Jesus was against him. And you know what, Brady, that's something I want to touch on just really quickly. We always hear people talk about how, Jesus was it just wasn't in the plan, I want to hear more fighters blame Jesus when they lose. No, I do, because that's not fair that you say like, wow, it was Jesus's plan when I won. Well, it's Jesus's plan when you lose as well. Then you can't have it both ways. So I want to see more fighters blaming Jesus when they lose, because that's how I know that you really want it. You really want it. You felt like I would have won this fight if it was Jesus's plan, but it was Jesus's plan that my opponent won. Well, whose fault is that? That's not, you're mortal. If Jesus is against you, you're going to lose. So like, it is Jesus's fault. So like, that's the one thing where I think Davis got right, is that it was in God's plan for him to lose.
Yeah.
But is it the same God? That's the other thing too, because Nurullo Aliev might be worshiping a different God than Mike Davis is, in which case then your God lost to his God. So that's like another excuse, So, I mean, like, I'm glad that he blamed Jesus, okay? Because I think that's the one legit excuse, but the rest of them are bullshit. His wrestling looked awful, Brady. It looked so bad.
Yeah, he's clearly washed or something, man. Like I told you, like on the walkout, he looked sick. Like he looked like so pale.
I mean, you said it. As soon as you saw him on the walkout, when we were on the watch along, you go, Mike Davis looks sick. And I'm like, God damn it, Brady, don't say that. I got 1 unit on him at plus 185.
Yeah, I could tell something was off, but yeah, thankfully I didn't bet on that fight because I would have been pretty upset. But yeah, I'm done with Mike Davis. I've been done ever since he pulled guard against Faraz Zion. That was the last straw. So, all right, let's see who we had for the piping of the week. And no, the piping of the week: Islam Dulatov to pipe Wellington tournament on site.
There was a piping, but I believe it was Islam being piped by a virus of some sort.
Yeah. I can't believe that. I mean, he had to have been something said about something about an infection. Like it must have been like a horrible, horrible infection. I have to pull out against Wellington tournament. Like this guy might have like HIV or something. It's gonna be something terrible, man.
I mean, we'll see. I wish we got to see that fight because that was going to be such an interesting fight if Wellington could just survive around.
Prayers. The milking of the week, though, it was Walter Walker to milk Thomas Peterson on site. Yeah.
We take that one. That was nice and easy.
Textbook. Quick milking. But a milking
that calf slicer, it snuck up on me. I saw him go for the leg lock, and then he kind of got behind him, and I thought he was trying to take his back, but I didn't see that he still had Tom's leg trapped. And then when he tapped, I was like, I wonder if he tapped because he got hurt by the leg lock. But no, it was the calf slicer. I just didn't see it happening. That Walker's such a gigantic human being. I didn't see that the leg entanglement there.
Well, in an actual division that's skilled, Weezy, usually they'll use that calf slicer to take the back.
Yeah.
But he actually submitted him with it because it's the heavyweight division, and 90% of heavyweights are not skilled. So yeah, it was kind of surprising that he submitted him with that. But yeah, I'll just keep betting the sub one. Why not? It's the gift that keeps on giving, man. I mean, if you're gonna price it they had like plus 500, plus 460. Like, come on. All right, so that was the milking of the week. We got to get back on track with the piping, but there's nothing you can do when they pull out. All right, so let's see who needs to get some help. And my gosh, this is the closest poll in Stat Digger's history, Uncle Weezy.
Wow. A lot of people need help.
Oh, it's very close. So in fourth place, believe it or not, and that's how you know it was a rough week for some of these guys, Magomed Tuchelov, who somehow took Brenton Ribeiro to decision as a minus 1,000 favorite when the fight doesn't go to decision, was minus 1,000 when his inside the distance prop was minus 500. Tuchelov is the least out of the four that needs help. That's how you know it's a rough week for some of these guys, man. In third place, 22%, Steve Urseg, who got brutally knocked out against Temirov in the first round. In second place, believe it or not, Mike Davis, the man with all the excuses at 27%. And then in first place, Ismail Bonfim at 30%. So Ismail Bonfim needs to get some help. He has quit 3 fights in a row. He quit after a cut on the cheek against Nazim Sadikov. He quit and pulled guard and covered up against Chris Padilla. And then this was his quickest quit job, I believe, where he went for a single leg for 3 minutes and got tapped out in the first round. So Ismail Bonfim, get some help. Get some help, please. Please.
I mean, it was just such easy money there. That under 2.5 was one of the best bets that I've made in a while. I mean, this guy is just a bona fide quitter.
Please get some help. Get some help. All right. So let's talk some home of fight cards here. Let's pull this up.
Let's go.
We're due
for a big one, Brady.
We've got some good cards these last 2 weeks. I'm actually scared because we're actually due to get some bad cards. So let's pull this up. Where's it at? There it is. All right. So we've had some good pulls these last 2 weeks. So homofightcards.com. We're going to get a couple packs here.
Yes.
Here we go. All right, here we go. First one. Suspense is killing me. All right.
Let's get something nice, Brady. Come on. Let's get something signed or some really good fighter.
I know, we're due, man. We're due.
We're due for a biggie. Give us a biggie.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Let's go.
And Alex Pereira.
Alex Pereira.
Okay.
That's a 2024 Topps Chrome UFC Refractor. Alex Pereira for PSA 9.
Nothing
Not
special.
bad, dude.
Nothing special, but pretty solid.
Good fighter, though. That's the thing. You get a good fighter, so it's going to be worth something.
We'll take it. We'll take
that.
Which was an Alex Pereira autograph.
I know that would have been sweet, man.
But we'll take it. We'll take it.
All right.
Now it's time for the Pereira autograph.
Yeah, now we're getting the autograph.
Come on,
now
baby.
we're getting the autograph, Brady.
Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Give us an auto.
Let's go. What's that? What the hell? Who?
Dan Severn?
Dan Severn? A Macias PSA 7?
Oh my God.
That's an old school card there, man.
Oh my
wow.
Well, it's about a
Dan Severn. That was the first UFC event I ever saw, Brady. UFC 5. And by the way, at my fraternity house, we had these Croatian dudes that were in my fraternity house. They lived next door at the house. Whenever those Croatian dudes ran into a group of Serbian dudes, there was guaranteed going to be a fight. If the Croatians dudes did not run into Serbian dudes at some point that night, they were going to start fighting each other. But that's why I would always go over there, because whenever there were any fights on, they were going to get the pay-per-view. And first pay-per-view I ever saw, UFC 5, and I remember Dan Severn absolutely splitting the skull of Oleg Taktarov open along the fence, and like all of us bloodthirsty MMA fans watching that. That was the first time I ever got to see the UFC. So that actually is kind of like for me, it's kind of a special card to see Dan Severn, because it reminds me of the first time I watched the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we fought in the UFC, I had to have been like 2 years old.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I was in college. You were barely born.
Crazy, man.
Yep.
Crazy. I didn't know they had cards from fighters from almost 30 years ago. That's crazy. I didn't know they had cards like that.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Severn hasn't fought in decades.
Wild. Just wild. But all right. We are about 30 minutes in. We are going to get into UFC Belgrade now. And this bout order has already changed like 2 times within the last 24 hours. It is going to change again, but we will have timestamps in the description for you guys so you can skip around and whatnot. But the first fight we're going to talk about is an absolute banger between 2 newcomers. It's going to be Milos Janicic going against Noah Gugnon. We got Janicic, 29 years old, 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. Gugnon, 25 years old, 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. We have Gugnon, who's 4 years younger. Janicic who's going to have a 4-inch height advantage, and he's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage. Janicic is 5-0 in his last 5 fights, all by knockout. And Gugnon is 5-0 in his last 5 fights, 4 knockouts and 1 submission. Both these guys are extremely violent. So, I was very, very pleased with this fight between both guys, because on a very violent card, I actually think this is probably one of the most violent fights on the entire card. Yeah. You have Janicic with 19 wins and 19 finishes. We have Gugnon with 9 wins and 9 finishes. Both guys have also been finished. I think somebody's getting served here. One thing that's interesting about this fight in the line is Janicic opened up as a minus 500 favorite, and he's currently at minus 150. I know. And Gugnon opened up plus 375, and he's currently plus 130. So I went and watched Gugnon, and I kind of did the thing where you start from the bottom and go to the top. And each and every time this guy stepped in the cage, you can see that he's made a ton of improvements. He's next level dangerous on the feet, and he's next level dangerous on the mat. He can get a little wild. He can get reckless, and he will throw his punches with 120% bad intentions. With doing that, he leave some openings to get clipped and caught. Have seen him dropped, have seen him wobbled, and have seen him knocked out before. Janicic, this guy has just a ton of fights on his record. He has boxing fights, dirty boxing, bare knuckle boxing. He's got kickboxing. This guy just loves to fight, it seems like. He has a ton of power in his hands. His hands are very sharp. And he also has a pretty good ground game. He has a lot of submissions. And if he gets on top, he has really good ground and pound as well. Weezy, both these guys are extremely dangerous wherever the fight goes. I think this is going to be a ding-dong, Donnybrook of a fight. I think the opener of minus 500 is wild, especially considering Gugnon seems to be improving at a serious, rapid rate. But I think somebody's going to get served here. I'm curious to see where they open up the total, if we ever get any, because I think somebody's going to get brutally served in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty easy prediction to make, right? Milos Janicic has 19 professional wins and 19 finishes. Noah Gugnon 9 professional wins, 9 finishes. These guys both have 100% finish rates. And when you watch like both of these guys, they both love to throw hands. Neither one of them throws a lot of kicks. They both are going to stay in each other's faces here. And Gugnon's ground and pound, holy shit, dude. Oh. Do not let this guy get on top of you, man. Your head is going to wind up through the canvas. He's finished so many of his recent fights with ground and pound. You do not want this guy on top of you. And I've seen Janicic get taken down a couple of times. Like, did you see the Alex Oliveira fight? How crazy that was?
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oliveira gets a really nice body lock takedown on Janicic. I'm like, oh, shit, he's in side control. And then he kind of like went to go to mount, got high, and then reversed and immediately quit. As soon as he got put on the bottom, he just covered up and immediately quit. The first second of the fight that it wasn't going his way, he just quit. And I was like, oh God, that's not a good look for Janicic, because that wasn't even a real fight. And then, but you go back and back and back, and it's just like, oh my God, knockout. And the guy's got really good hands. I mean, I can't wait for this fight. I have no idea who's going to win it, though. All I know is that I just wouldn't want to be betting an over, because these guys are going to absolutely throw down. When you look at the fight first on paper and you're like, who versus who? You know, neither one of these guys has really fought in big organizations. Gugnon fighting in Aries recently, which is one of the bigger promotions in Europe. But prior to that, he's fighting on really small promotions. So it was kind of like a mystery. And then when I saw both guys tape, I was like, oh, I get it. This is the matchmakers doing really good work. This is going to be a great fight.
It's going to be phenomenal. It's one of those where it's tough to pick a winner. So I'm probably going to look at it like a total potentially. But yeah, I think Janicic is live to, counter Gugnon, who does leave some openings. But if Gugnon gets on top, like you said, his ground and pound is disgusting. So I think I'm leaning Janicic. The minus 500 opener is kind of wild. And I think like 90% of people are picking Janicic on Tapology. But Gugnon did impress me quite a bit. A little bit defensively irresponsible at times, but he did impress me quite a bit. So, yeah, absolute banger for this fight here. Yeah, I agree. This is going to be a phenomenal fight. Phenomenal fight. Janicic is the type of guy to take a Dan Hooker 1-minute scraps fight. Yeah, he'll take a street beefs type fight, man. This guy Janicic loves to fight. Brady was so tired that he fell asleep during Guskov's highlight reels of his. Yeah, what were they doing? They were like doing highlight reels of the fighters, and they were doing a highlight reel of Guskov walking out in slow motion, like
slow motion walking up the stairs of the cage. And I'm like, what is going on? I remember we were 3 fights out, and I went to go take a quick bathroom break, and I was telling my girlfriend, I'm like, yeah, 3 fights left. We'll be done at and I think I told her 1:15. Card finished at 1:50. I was 35 minutes off, and it was all commercials and shit.
I know. The pacing was brutal, but we did lose the Delata fight, so that's probably why, Yeah. Janicic is an absolute dog. Yeah, both these guys are, man. What fight is this? Yeah, it's a fight where I was kind of pissed off first look because I had no clue who these guys were. But after I researched it, I was, pleasantly, surprised with how good and dangerous both these guys are. Does that crown next to my name mean I'm a king in here? I think so, right? I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And they're all kings to us. I mean, we love Big Marley. We love Kyle, but all of our audience is kings to us, Brady.
Yeah. The undercard is better than the main card of this event. Gilbert, Urbina, dude. Yeah. No, that fight's going to be fun, though. Historically, when 2 guys like this fight, it often goes to decision. I don't know about this one, though. I know what you mean, but these guys are going to try to kill each other from the jump. Both are bums. You wouldn't say that to their face. You wouldn't say that to either one of these guys.
No chance, dude.
Oh, that'd be horrifying, dude. These guys are scary. These guys are scary. A lot of cool, violent fights. Let's go. Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. So many bums on this card. Dennis Buzukja is straight up catching it. I mean, now that's a fair take. That's a fair take. Does Navajo have a chance? I would think so. He's fighting a 60-year-old man. Andre Fiallo, what's up? What's up? All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be We have like 50 newcomers on this card.
Yeah.
And here's one of them, Marina Spasic going against Stephanie Luciano. We got Spasic, 32 years old, 5'4". Luciano, 26 years old, 5'6" with a 65-inch reach. Luciano is 6 years younger, 2-inch height advantage. Spasic is 4-1 in her last 5 fights. She has a couple knockout wins in there, a couple round 3 knockout wins, and she'll be making her debut. She's going to be the hometown fighter as well. She's from Serbia. As far as Luciano, she is 3-1 and 1 draw in her last 5 fights. Had that draw against Alencar in the Contender Series. Made her debut against Alencar, won that fight by decision. Lost a close decision to Sam Hughes, and then submitted Ravenna Oliveira in her last fight. So, yeah, I mean, I watched Spasic. I think she's decent. Like, she's not a bum. She has a kickboxing background. She has constant forward pressure, a little bit low volume early on in the fight, but kind of turns it up as the fight goes on. I think her last 2 finishes came in the 3rd round, and she really turned it up and got her opponents out of there. She did lose just 2 fights ago, though, and it's clear that, the only reason she's really on this card is because she is from Belgrade, Serbia. But, yeah, she's not like some complete bum, right? But it's going to be Luciano, who's younger, and I think Luciano's actually pretty good. I think she's going to have higher volume here. I think if anybody has grappling success, it's going to be her. And I think some of her wins are going to age really well. Like that Alencar win, I think is going to continue to age very well, because since then, Alencar's looked actually pretty dang good. Alencar's on a 3-fight winning streak since that loss she had against Luciano. So I was kind of surprised by the line. Like, Luciano's minus 300 in a fight that probably goes to decision, in a fight where, Spasic will be the hometown fighter. But at the end of the day, I think Luciano should be favored. Favored by this much, I'm not sure. I don't think she's going to look like minus 300, but in terms of a pick, I do lean her way, and probably by decision. Were you able to look into Marina Spasic at all?
I did see one fight. It was and it was a few fights ago. It was the Samin Kamal Bake fight in FNC. And I'm definitely learning about some new promotions on this card. For instance, there is the Fight Nation Championship, which is, a lot of those take place in Serbia. And as well, there's Armada, ARMMADA, Armada. And I'm seeing some of these, promotions. I'm like, what the hell is Armada? But then I see 5 different fighters from this card are fighting in that promotion, because evidently it's local to Serbia. So, what I learned about Spasic during that fight is that, she does have a professional kickboxing background, and that's definitely going to be her base. But I did not get to see the Marina Merchuk fight and why she lost that fight. I don't know if she got out-grappled.
Nope.
Or if she got... What happened?
Outstruck.
Okay. Yeah, that's bad, because I think Luciano, while she's a good striker, I think she does have somewhat well-rounded of a skill set. So if there is any kind of weakness in her grappling game, Spasic, Luciano might be able to take advantage of that. But her striking's also been tested at a higher level than Spasic's has. So, I see why Luciano is the favorite. But the point that you made, it holds water, because this fight probably goes to decision 70-75% of the time, just based on the averages for the division. And, it's hard to find finishes in these divisions. So could be close. The judges are going to get involved, and there's a hometown fighter involved. So, it probably is something I'm going to stay away from. But, I rate Luciano. She's young. She had a good level of competition on the regional scene before she got her Dana White Contender Series shot. And she's looked pretty good at this level. So going a 50-50 fight with Sam Hughes is impressive, in my opinion. Sam Hughes is a solid veteran. So, I think it should be Luciano here, probably Luciano by decision. But I don't think you're going to find any value. It's probably going to be like minus 150.
Oh, it's one of those where it's like, what can go wrong? Like minus 300 on Stephanie Luciano. Like,
yeah.
You never know with these crooked judges. But, I think she absolutely should be the favorite. I love the morning start times. Me too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. We got Seamus in the building. What's up, boys? Let's get it all over again. Smash the like. If you guys have not smashed a like, please smash a like for us there. This is the fight I'm currently in the middle of capping, leaning Luciano so far. I'm leaning her way as well. What does the wiki feed say? The wiki feed, only one of these fighters have a wiki feed, and it might not be the fighter you expect. It's actually Spasic is the only fighter out of the 2 that have a wiki feed, which is weird because Luciano has a couple of UFC fights. That's really weird to me.
Wow. Maybe just feet are huge in Serbia. We don't know. It could be.
Maybe.
We're gonna learn a lot about this card. The UFC's never been to Belgrade, so now we get to hear about the Serbian heritage. We're gonna hear Uros Medic talk about what it was like to grow up there. Dusko Todorovic is from there. We got 4 other fighters, I believe, on the card who are Serbian descent or from Montenegro. So I can't wait.
We're gonna learn a lot, man. But yeah, Spasic WikiFeed score is 3.99. Which is a little below average, I'd say. You'd like to be at least in the 4s. Like you kind of get a 4 for just putting your name on the website. So, but we don't have a WikiFeed score for Luciano.
That's weird.
Spasic got robbed in her only loss. She's decent, but take defense looks poor, and Luciano will be fine on the feet with her.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she has some sneaky grappling upside for sure. Luciano round 1 sub reminiscent of LeBlanc Valentine. She did sub Ravenna Oliveira, but nobody does that.
Ravenna Oliveira, the GOAT. You got to rate that win, man.
Yeah, we'll be watching Ravenna Oliveira, I think, next week versus Juliana Killer Miller. That's going to be a fun.
I know, dude. When I was looking at that, and I laughed out loud because I was like, oh, shit, dude. Miller, I would probably rate her at minus 400 here, and she's terrible.
I know.
Because, Ravenna Oliveira is so much worse than Miller, It's just, oh, God, that's an ugly fight.
Kind of sexist that you guys only do WikiFeet for the women. Yeah, there is a WikiFeet men. I tend to stay off that website, but you guys, all power to you guys that want to check out the WikiFeet men, but that's just not my thing personally, Uncle Weezy, you're the best. Agreed. She was signed because of her. I don't think she was signed because of her feet. She was signed because she's from Belgrade, and that's probably why. Musayev is a cheater. A dirty one. A dirty cheater. Dirty cheater. Oliveira Elliott is a great fight. Agreed.
Yeah.
Juliana Miller was moments away from beating Judice. She actually stepped up her game. Yeah, I had I think a big bet on Judice inside the distance or the under or something, and Miller surprised me in a loss for sure. So, and now she's getting a massive step down against Oliveira next week. Who was the female that had the worst WikiFeed score, worse than Shaq? I think who was the girl that fought Priscilla Cachoeira in her last fight? Chelsea Chandler. I think it was Chelsea Chandler.
Oh boy, yeah, Chandler destroyed her. Yeah, it was Chandler. So, I think that she's got a terrible WikiFeed score.
How do you spell Chelsea? Is it
CHELSEA?
Chelsea Chandler. Let's see what it was. I think it was Chandler. It was horrible. 3.16. It might have been.
Yeah, dude, that's bad.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen anyone with a 2 handle?
I don't know off the top of my head. But I gotta start keeping track of this stuff, man.
I'll put together a spreadsheet. That's probably something that my paid subscribers are going to want access to as well. So I might as well just do it.
Yeah, because Priscilla's is 3.62. Yeah, I think there might have been somebody lower, but 3.16 is pretty bad. Kong Wong, I don't know. Kong Wong doesn't have.
No, the Chinese have dainty feet that are probably going to be kind of highly scored on a place like WikiFeet.
I don't even know if she has. I don't even think she has a WikiFeet on here. No, I don't see her. No. Oh wait, there's a Connie Wong.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Oh wow.
Wild Gary's one of my subscribers. He says we don't need the WikiFeet score, but I mean it's important information. Maybe you don't use it, but it would be nice to have it in your back pocket. I'm thinking. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely useful. Like I've picked a fight before based off of WikiFeed scores, and I was correct. I think it was the Juana Santos fight.
Oh well, she's got a phenomenal WikiFeed score, and boy, did she! I mean, like. That was so easy. She was way better on WikiFeet than Carol Hossa, and then Carol Hossa came out with that haircut.
Oh my god,
Golden Girls haircut.
Oh gosh. Well,
who the hell are you? Are you Carol Rosa or are you Rue McClanahan? What the hell was that,
dude? I found the worst WikiFeet score of all time. It's Melissa Mullins. 1 star. 1 star, but only 1 vote. But somebody rated her 1 star.
Well, that was my vote because I was really mad about the Zheleznyakova fight.
What was Melissa Mullins' other name? Melissa.
There's
Melissa Dixon. Melissa Dixon. So maybe she has a better one. Maybe she's under Dixon. Yeah. So under Mullen, she has a 1-star. Under Dixon, it's 3.4. Funny how that works.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Funny how that works. Oh yeah, it's valid as heck, man. I mean, we got to be keeping track of it, but yeah, no wiki feed for Luciano. All right, moving on. And I don't think either one of these guys have a wiki feed. Oh my goodness. So Jovan Leka versus Alexander Poppeck. We have a Leka, 24 years old, 6'4", with a 75-inch reach. Poppeck, 34 years old, 6'3", with a 74-inch reach. We got Leka 10 years younger, 1-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Leka 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He fought on the Contender Series a few fights ago and won that fight by decision. As far as Poppeck, 4-0 and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. He fought on the Contender Series like 5 or 6 years ago against Jamal Hill and lost that fight by second-round knockout. So a couple things I want to point out here. Leka's 24 years old at heavyweight, which is insane. Like, typically heavyweights don't get into their prime until like the 30s. So, seeing Leka at 24 years old is, pretty interesting. He's massive for the division. This guy probably has to cut to the heavyweight limit to make weight. And he's going against just a light heavyweight. He's going against a light heavyweight in Poppeck, who has fought as low as 165 earlier in his career, has some middleweight fights, has a ton of light heavyweight fights, and now he's coming up to the heavyweight weight class for the first time in his entire career. And Poppeck is very experienced, but at the end of the day, I think size is going to matter here. Leka's massive. Leka can wrestle, and I've seen Poppeck taken down by much, much, much smaller guys than Leka, who's freaking huge and who's also going to be fighting at home. So, Poppeck's taking this fight on short notice. It was supposed to be that bum Max Jimenez, but Max Jimenez had to pull out. In steps Alexander Poppeck. I think Leka, if he goes out there and does what he does, which is, get this fight down to the mat, you're not getting up if this guy Leka takes you down. I mean, this guy's massive. So I'm leaning Leka for sure, and I'm kind of surprised the line is where it's at. I get Poppeck is not a bad fighter by any means, and he's extremely experienced, and he's fought some really good guys, but he's not a freaking heavyweight, and he's going against a guy that's massive. So I'm definitely going Leka here. Were you able to look into either one of these guys?
Yeah, I wasn't able to look into Poppeck, but I remember him from Contender Series way back in the day when he fought Jamal Hill. And I see the guy's name everywhere. If you watch any kind of European regional scene MMA, like Poppeck's going to be on the card. He's definitely, 27 professional fights for this guy, and he's only 34 years old. So he's got a ton of experience, and he's been all over the European regional scene. But from what I saw from Leka, this guy is just massive, and he's great in the clinch. I like his boxing. He's got a really nice jab, dude. He's kind of fast for a guy that's as gigantic as he is. He looks like a really good prospect. And back in 2025, he fought on Contender Series against Azamat Nuftalayev, who's a really good wrestler. But Nuftalayev kind of gassed out after one round, but he was still out wrestling Nuftalayev in rounds 2 and 3, got into top position and put a beating on the dude, but just couldn't find the finish, and he didn't get signed. And I remember thinking to myself, like, that's not fucking fair. He got held down the whole first round and then anti-grappled in rounds 2 and 3 and did an amazing job and beat the hell out of the guy. And I'm like, really? You're not going to sign a 23-year-old heavyweight with good striking and solid grappling and good conditioning at his age? I thought it was really interesting that they passed on him there. And then he got good wins against Milner and Suzart. Suzart's a real bum, but that was a fun fight because that dude will try and take your head off if you stand in front of him. And you can see that Leka has multiple paths to victory. He can outstrike you on the feet, but if you are a dangerous striker, this dude can just clinch you up, drag you to the mat with some kind of a trip or a body lock, and then when he gets on top of you, Brady, it's over. He doesn't take chances. He will stay on top of you and be position over submission, but he stays very heavy. He lands big elbows, and then when he gets to dominant positions, he will finish the fight with ground and pound. And he's also got 4 submissions. So, yeah, I mean, I think this guy Leka is the real deal. At only 24 years of age, you can't teach size, you can't teach weight, but this guy's got really nice boxing for a big man, good speed for a big man, and he seems to know when to use what skills. So I think the guy's got a pretty high ceiling. And this guy Poppeck, like you said, you see him get taken down on the regional scene, and he's going to be way undersized here. So yeah, I think that I'm kind of surprised that Leka's not minus 400, minus 500.
Yeah, he opened up minus 300. He's now minus 230. Poppeck opened up plus 250, currently plus 192. What I think might be interesting is like a total. I wish we had totals to talk about, but does Leka, finish him? Does he get on top and pound away, or does he drag him to decision like he did on the Contender Series? And that's why he didn't get signed, because it was a boring fight. Like at the end of the day, Dana's looking for fun fights. It was boring, and he did have so many opportunities to finish that guy in the third round. At one point, he landed a nasty elbow. Like all he had to do was just follow up a couple punches. The fight would be over. Just kind of looked lazy in that third round. But yeah, I agree. I think Leka is a very good fighter. Only 24 years old, massive, decent striker with a ton of power on the feet, good wrestling and good grappling and very good ground and pound. So yeah, this guy's good. So, and he's going against a much smaller guy. He didn't fight at 165. He fought at 196. Did you even look, man? I mean, he fought again at 165 against Per Aarons back in 2014. He has a bunch of fights at 170, welterweight, 175. You just got to go back and look. But he's been fighting like 170, 185. He's fought everywhere. Poppeck. Going to be huge size difference, but Leka gassed in like 4 minutes on Dana White's Contender Series, so if he can survive early.
It wasn't Leka that gassed. It was Nuftalayev that gassed.
Yeah, Leka actually has a pretty good gas tank for heavyweight standards.
Remember, it's for heavyweight standards. You have to hold heavyweights to a different cardio standard than everybody else. Like if you could be a fat fuck and still look great at heavyweight just because you do have some cardio.
100%. Just got notified for your stream. Can you tell me who the picks are? We just kind of started, so you didn't miss much, to be honest. Leka is just going to blob Poppeck for 15 minutes, and that could happen. You could take him down and lay on him, and Poppeck might just not get up,
Yeah.
Leka bet the decision problem. It kind of looked like it, like he could have finished him, man, Brady, at first glance, his card looked bleh, but when you look into each matchup, this is one of the best, most violent fight nights of the year. I think it will be, man. I think it will be 2014. I mean, that's what I said. I said he's fought at 165 in the past,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't lying or anything. What's up, Magomedov, a future champ? Shout out John Pork.
Which one? He's not Magomedov.
Oh, that's Zanikov.
Yeah, he's probably talking about Saeed. No, that's Saidov. No, we just came from Abu Dhabi. There were 14 Magomedovs on the card.
I'm getting my obs.
That's like the first name and the last name. It's like
who's Magomedov?
Because there's 20 of them. We got Shara Magomedov. We've got Magomedov.
I don't know, man. I don't know. What's good? All right, let's move on to the next. I thought he was talking about Zanikov. Gabe, let's not call people stupid, guys. Come on, guys. Nobody's stupid. All right, moving on to the next fight. It is going to be Nina Milosevic going against Hailey Cowan. We got Milosevic, 29 years old, 5'5" with a 65-inch reach. Hailey Cowan, 34 years old, 5'8" with a 67-inch reach. We got Milosevic, 5 years younger. That's going to be Hailey Cowan with a 3-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. We got Milosevic, 5-0 in her last 5 fights. Making her debut here. She will be from Serbia. As far as Hailey Cowan, she is 2-3 in her last 5 fights. A decision loss to Jamie Lynn Horth, a submission loss to Nora Cornhole, and a knockout loss to Alice Pereira. See how easy. It looks like Hailey Cowan's just done. I mean, she looks freaking awful, dude. Like, before she came to the UFC, like, she looked okay. Like, she would use her size, her strength, her physicality. But, the more she fights, the more it's like that's really all she has. She's not the best striker. She doesn't have the best strike and defense. She doesn't have the best chin. She doesn't have the best cardio. She doesn't have the best wrestling. She doesn't have the best grapple. I'm just not really sure where she's that great outside of that big size, that big frame and physicality. But even that's like not really working. Like that, getting knocked out by Alice Pereira, I don't care what anybody says. That's embarrassing, man. I mean, that's so embarrassing. That's the same Alice Pereira that got, lost to Montserrat Rendon.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you get knocked out by Alice Pereira? And then the worst of all, I mean, that Nora Cornhole fight was such a bad look. I went back and watched that Cornhole fight. In the second round, Cowan was gassed out. She got reversed, got her back taken, and Cornhole choked her out instantly. Cornhole was like a white belt. It's like, I'm done with Hailey Cowan, and now she's coming all the way to Belgrade, Serbia. She's a massive dog here, and I think for pretty good reason. Milosevic looks good to me. Good striking, fast hands. She's got power in her hands. But I think what's really going to give Cowan problems is the grappling. Milosevic has really slick grappling. She's able to get to dominant positions, mount, get to the back. I've seen her get multiple submissions. I've seen her attempt multiple submissions. And if you're getting tapped out by cornhole, I feel like Milosevic can get you in some bad spots as well. So Cowan, 34 years old now. She looks more awful each and every time she steps in the cage. And she's been finished, I think, in like 3 of her 4 losses or more. I've seen her drop multiple times. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how Cowan wins this fight outside of like some cage pushing. Like, she's not really good at anything else. So for me, it's Milosevic. I was hoping the books might be sleeping on it a little bit, but Milosevic is a massive favorite here. So we were able to look into Nina Milosevic at all.
Just a little bit. I saw her most recent fight against Dina Osman. And like she fought in April of 2025, May of 2025, June of 2025, July of 2025. I mean, like she fought 4 times in 4 months over that stretch in 2025. So she's really has only been fighting as a professional for less than 3 years. So she's been super active. She's finished 5 of her 8 wins, but she's also 3-1 to the decision as well. So she's proven that she can go a full 15 minutes, bank rounds, win fights that way. Her only pro loss was her pro debut, and that came by decision. So she's fought just an okay level of competition. This is going to be a step up for her against Hailey Cowan, who fought a good level of regional scene competition, better than Milosevic's, and then came into the UFC and fought. Cornhole and Horth are average, UFC flyweights, I would say. So, it's going to be interesting to see if Milosevic can find a finish here because they're setting her up to get one. Because if you're getting knocked out by shopping mall Alice Pereira, who probably only got signed because they thought she was Alex's sister, but she wasn't. Yeah, that's a bad look, dude. And Hailey's had so many health problems, so many injuries, that at 34 years of age, having a gymnastics background. So, that beats the hell out of you. Tumbling and then going into MMA after that and not being able to stay healthy for most of her career. Only 12 fights in over 8 years as a pro. So, sorry, like these upstairs neighbors of mine, Brady, I swear to God, they're fucking cooking cabbage like twice a week. And it's fucking disgusting, man. Like I get this smell in my house and it's like, they're not even Polish. I don't know what they're doing. Who cooks cabbage? It's disgusting.
That is disgusting. Jeez.
Oh my God. I got to get a fucking air freshener in here or something. God damn it, man. But yeah, I think Milosevic should get a win. I think she probably gets a finish, but I'll be right back, dude. It fucking stinks in here, man.
Yeah, it's horrible. But yeah, I was impressed with Milosevic. She does have 9 MMA fights professionally, but she has like 13 or 14 amateur fights as well. Seems to be pretty well rounded. And I don't know if Cowan has anything left. It doesn't look like it. It looks like the motivation's gone. I don't know. She's looked so bad. Cowan is a chump. Oh, goodness. Cowan sucks, but Milosevic was being bullied in the clinch by some Arab lady. No way you can lay minus 400. Yeah, I was hoping to get a better line on Milosevic, but there's 0 chance I put any money on Hailey Cowan. Wiki scores for Nina and Hailey. I doubt they have wiki feet for Nina. Milosevic, nothing, but Hailey Cowan, they might. That's the problem. We don't have wiki feet scores for both parties, so you can't really look into it. Cowan does, and it's 4.26, which I'd say is about average. Under 2.5 might be good if it's at plus money. Well, we don't know because we don't have any totals. I don't know what's going on, but no totals yet. Fight doesn't go to decision, might be minus 200 again. I don't think that, but you never know. You never know. Let's go, Hailey Cowan. Hailey Cowan, stand up. Brady, it's Milosevic. Emphasis on the O. That's what I've been saying, Milosevic, right? Do you want me to emphasize the O more?
Milosevic.
Milosevic.
See how he's got the accent over the O? It's Milosevic. So yeah, the second syllable is accented. Milosevic.
Oh, okay. Well, whenever I do my pronunciation practicing, I go and I listen to what the announcers are saying. So if I ever pronounce something wrong, it's not my fault. It's the bitch ass announcers, because I'm listening to what they're saying, and that's what I was practicing. Milosevic is what they were kind of saying. I wish the odds were better. Same, but Milosevic should win easily. Agreed on both statements there. I don't even care about violence. This card is dysfunction. I can see violence at a bar. Come on, man. Come on. It's gonna be a fun time, man. It's gonna be a fun time. Filippo Franco fought in malls, and look at him. Yeah, that's true. I think he's the first, I guess the second mall fighter that got a win, because Pereira did. Alice Pereira did.
Yeah.
Was that KO only 4 months ago?
Yeah, it was April.
Jeez, and that was a brutal knockout. Is she even woken up yet?
Yeah, dude, they're sending. I mean, like, she might not even show up for this one. Hailey Cowan pulls out of a ton of fights, dude.
I don't even know why we broke down this fight. There's no way this fight's happening. She's gonna pull out.
Yeah, it's a bad matchup for her too.
Yeah, Brandon Weezy. All this is happening to Hailey Cowan. It's 100% karma for all those Diddy parties she threw with her husband at the gym in Texas. Yeah, could be. Karma.
Yeah, karma.
Inside info: Cowan doesn't train. It looks like it. It certainly looks like it.
Yeah.
Some of these performances have just been bad. It's just joined. Are we getting Big Ank some help? So no, actually, it ended up being, was it Mike Davis? Or no, it was Bonfim.
Davis was number 2, and number 1 was
Bonfim, I think. Because
Ismail.
Because he quit.
Yeah.
Oh, the Cowan cat. That should be Cowan's nickname. Cabbage. Hailey Cabbage Cowan. I like it.
Yeah. We remember Cabbage Carrera.
Oh,
that's an old school name. He was a Hawaiian boxer, and he stunk. So I think that's why they called him Cabbage. And I had to bring in a diffuser, Brady. I'm literally just inhaling this spearmint oil that diffuses in the water to get this fucking stink out of the goddamn room.
Goodness, that's horrible, man. It's terrible. It's terrible. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be Mateusz Rebecki going against Kyle Prepolec. We got Rebecki, 33 years old, 5'8" with a 66-inch reach. Kyle Prepolec, 36 years old, 5'10" with a 70-inch reach. We got Mateusz Rebecki, 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss against Carlos Diego Ferreira. Decision win against my titty back Oral Boy. A decision loss to Chris Duncan. Decision loss to Ludovit Klein. And a submission loss to Grant Dawson. As far as Kyle Prepolec, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. So he lost to Saint Denis by submission round 2, and then he got knocked out by Drew Dober in round 3. So finally, Weezy, the UFC is saying, hey, Mateusz, we haven't done you any favors, buddy. We're going to do you a favor here. I mean, look at this last 5 fights. I mean, Carlos Diego Ferreira, he beat my titty back Oral Boy, which, by the way, is going to continue to age incredibly. Like, this guy, my titty back, might be a future champion. And he went out there and beat him as an underdog as well. Yeah. Chris Duncan, pretty dang good. Ludovit Klein, we'll talk about him on this card, pretty dang good. And then Grant Dawson, pretty good as well. And he had some moments in that Dawson fight, but he did fight like an idiot, but he dropped Dawson at one point. So, and now he's just taking a ginormous step down against Kyle Prepolec, who I'm just not sure what he's good at. Like, he's an okay striker, but he has about a 50% takedown defense. He makes mistake after mistake on the ground. He's been submitted multiple times, coming off of a knockout loss. Rebecki should win this fight. I think he's one of the biggest favorites on the card, though. Mateusz Rebecki is now minus 500 Ouija, which makes him the biggest favorite on the entire card. So the odds makers are all over it. It's a fairly good stylistic matchup because, like, I think he's good everywhere this fight goes. I think he can pressure Prepolec here, land big shots on the feet. Where I think he's going to look minus 500 is with the grappling, man. I mean, Prepolec just doesn't seem to know what he's doing on the ground. And on top of that, Prepolec's almost like 37 at this point. So, yeah, Rebecki's kind of getting a layup, if you will. And let's see if he makes this layup. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, it's kind of like a similar matchup to both of his last 2 fights, Prepolec. And Saint Denis and Dober, you're getting 2 guys who are going to pressure you a lot. And that's what Rebecki does. And Rebecki hits hard like Dober, and he wrestles like Saint Denis. So,
oh god,
this is not. They didn't bring Kyle Prepolec all the way from Canada so that he could beat a Polish dude in Serbia. So, I think this is a great matchup for Rebecki. And like, look, I mean, the guy's lost 4 out of his last 5 fights, and you need to keep this guy on the roster. You're not cutting a guy that has a win over Oral Boy. Come on, I mean, that's not going to happen. And I mean, like, he was beating the hell out of Ferreira early in that fight, and then just kind of slowed down. And Ferreira's a legend, so he's had some really tough fights at this level. But Prepolec has too, and he's just a lot more one-dimensional than Rebecki is. And the thing about Prepolec is that while he does his best work at distance striking range, he's 10-1 to the knockout, and the only loss by KO was against Drew Dober. But I heard your breakdown of this fight when you did your full card breakdown the other day, Brady, and you mentioned a great point in that that fight was going 50-50 until Dober got the point taken, and it was in the 3rd round, so he knew that, like, if he didn't go out there and finish that fight, that the best he could do was a draw, I think.
Yeah.
So when he actually got out on that front foot, Prepolec looked lost. And I've never seen anybody not let Rebecki take the front foot. The guy's going to pressure the shit out of you, and he's going to mix the striking with the grappling. So I think it's a great matchup for Rebecki. I think he gets back on track with the win here. And I think it's a good matchup. We need to get this guy a couple of wins. He puts on really fun fights, fan-friendly fights, and having him fight at home in Europe, not at home in his home country, but pretty close to home. This is a big spot for him here.
Yep. Yeah, the money's already came in on. Like, he was minus 400 when I did my video yesterday. He's now minus 500. And then as far as Prepolec, currently plus 350. It seems like a tough matchup for Prepolec because it kind of seems like his path to victory is like a puncher's chance, and good luck knocking out Rebecki, who's super, super tough. I know Ferreira TKO'd him, but that was more so due to like exhaustion and kind of broke him there. But yeah, I think Rebecki here. Don't have a total yet, which is unfortunate, but I'm curious to see where they put the total at as well. Poland, stand up. Stand the F up. Let's go. This guy's 1-4 in his last 5 fights, but I think he's much better than his record indicates. I mean, he's been fighting some very good competition. Someone is going to get stopped. Yeah, I could see it. My wife doesn't like the way you pronounce his name. My titty back? She doesn't like that? Or Rebecki?
I think it might be Rebecki, because you're nailing the Kyrgyz pronunciation of Oral Boy's name.
Exactly. Rebecki, arm triangle, round 2. I won't forgive Kyle for losing right after the underpass against BSD. I had BSD by sub, I think at like plus 150. It wasn't a great number, but it hit. I like Rebecki, a lot of fun to watch. Yes, he is. They're the reason they're keeping this guy around. He's a very fun fighter. Brain Uncle Weezy, I have great news. Stat Diggers for DDP versus Usman got over 34,000 views.
No way.
No, it didn't.
No, we get about 5,000 views, 6,000 on weeks, that we're doing it on Sunday. But yeah, dude, there's no way it got over 34,000 views.
Maybe it means the Fight Companion, because it probably did.
Yeah, the Fight Companion. Yeah, and last week's Fight Companion got a ton of views. The one we did yesterday. Yeah,
it was our best fight night card of the year, actually. So that was pretty cool. I wish Stat Diggers got 34,000 views.
That would be cool, man. Yeah.
She doesn't like my titty back, Oral Boy.
Oh, okay. I still think you're nailing the pronunciation, but then again, I'm not Kyrgyz, so I'm not an authority on it.
Yeah. 150 likes is the goal. Also, if you like free money, sign up Underdog using the promo code DFSBTN. 100%. I agree with Forrest here. 150 would be a nice goal tonight for sure. Rebecki is a minus 500 favorite. I feel like he should be celebrating this. He's a big favorite, man. Does he like steak? I don't know. Rebecki pressure will probably cook him. Don't think you can lay minus 500 on a guy that after one punch, his face looks like a bloody mess, though. Yeah, this guy is taking so much freaking damage. It's crazy. It's crazy. No finishes in over 3 years. How can you predict anything other than a decision for this fight?
Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, like, look at that Oral Boy fight. I mean, like, I don't know how that fight wasn't a finish.
Oh, I know. It's because Oral Boy's not a human being. That's how.
I don't think he is human. I mean, he's got some DNA that is not human.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm picking I mean, this guy Prepolec's been finished like 5 times. I think he can finish him. Yeah, so the fight companion, that makes more sense for sure. The fight companions have been doing very, very well. So everything's still on track from your first. Yeah, everything's on track, man. Everything's on track 100%. I did look more into the Gugnon fight. I wanted to look more into that matchup because there's so much to look into. But yeah, everything's on track, man. Yeah, I told her she could leave the room. Don't worry. There you go. There you go. All right, let's move on to the next fight. And this is it's gonna be a good fight, but this is probably my least favorite fight on the card. We got Bogdan Grad going against Denis Buzukja. We got Grad, 30 years old, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. Buzukja, 28 years old, 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. Buzukja 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss against Sean Woodson. Knockout loss against Jamal Emmers. Knockout win against Connor Matthews. Decision loss against Francis Marshall. And a knockout loss against Marcio Barbosa. As far as Bogdan Grad, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Michael Aswell on the Contender Series. A knockout win against Lucas Alexander. A decision loss to Muhammad Naimov, and a knockout loss to Luke Riley. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, every time we do our show and break down Denis Buzukja, I pose the question to the chat and to you. I'm like, what is Denis Buzukja good at? And nobody's been able to answer my question. And people have been saying he's tough, he's durable, but is he durable? I don't know. He's been finished a lot at this point, just coming off of a knockout loss. Got knocked out by Jamal Emmers in a minute. Is he durable? I don't know. I'm just not sure what Buzukja is good at. He's not the best striker. He's not the best wrestler. He's not the best grappler. He doesn't set the highest pace. I'm just not really sure what he's good at, So it's always hard for me to pick Denis Buzukja to win a fight unless he's, fighting Connor Matthews. So as far as Bogdan Grad, he does some good things well. He's going to push a pace. His fights are always going to be fun. He has power on the feet. He's a BJJ black belt, can mix in the wrestling, and he's going to put forth a lot of effort. So, by default, I'm going Grad here. Grad's not typically a guy I want to lay minus 200 though on, and that's kind of the problem here. So this is the fight I'm going to stay away from for sure, but I just can't pick Buzukja to win a fight. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So if anybody in the chat, let me know what Buzukja is good at, man, because I have no clue. I still haven't figured it out. I've watched all of his fights. I just still can't figure out what Buzukja is good at. He's trained with good guys in the past, but I believe he's moved camps. I don't think he's no longer with Marab and them anymore. So, yeah, I don't know. Help me out, Weezy. What's Buzukja good at?
He's one of those guys that's kind of like he's not great at anything, but he's not bad at anything either. His striking's solid, his wrestling's solid, his BJJ is solid, and he's a tough guy. So he's going to put on fun fights as a professional, but when he fights these guys that are truly UFC level, he's just a notch or two below them skill-wise. But Bogdan Grad is not really he doesn't really have a skill set that's UFC level. He's UFC level, but he's not phenomenal anywhere either. He's basically just an Austrian version of Denis Buzukja, where he can go out there and win some minutes on the feet. He can mix in some wrestling. Bogdan's got a pretty opportunistic submission game when fights hit the ground, and he's going to fight you. He's going to stay in front of you. I think these guys, Buzukja and Grad, if they give every fighter a 50% pay cut, I think they'd still show up to fight. Those are the kind of guys that you need in there to put on good fights. So while I don't think this is a high-level fight by any stretch of the imagination, I think it's going to be a very fan-friendly fight. I think these guys are going to meet in the middle. I think they're going to beat the piss out of each other for the best part of 3 rounds and probably goes to decision. And probably, I don't know, man. I think it could go either way. Bogdan Grad at minus 200 is not a play that I would be making. Oh. If you made me bet on this fight, I'd play Buzukja at plus 170, but I'm not betting it. I'm not betting it. But I think Buzukja is the side, dude. He's fought just as good a competition as Bogdan Grad has. You think about it, right? Michael Aswell went to split decision with Grad, and Grad beat him, but we know how good, we know what Michael Aswell is now. He's just not very good. He's not very dangerous in any area of MMA. And Bogdan Grad and him went to a 50-50 fight. So I kind of feel like Buzukja, who's been in there against guys like Sean Woodson and Jamal Emmers and Francis Marshall and Marcio Barbosa, those guys are all beating the guys that Bogdan Grad is beaten at this level, as well Lucas Alexander, and then a lot of lower level guys on the Austrian regional scene. So yeah, I think it's going to be very close to a 50-50 fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with passing. I mean, I would never bet on Buzukja in a million years, but yeah, Grad minus 190, opened up minus 250, currently minus 190. Buzukja opened up plus 210, currently plus 165. I just think Grad has much more ways to win, whereas Buzukja, his path is probably like a greasy split. Is Buzukja washed like Mike Davis? I'd hope not. He's only 28, so I'd hope he wouldn't be washed. I'm thinking Gugnon, it goes down as well. Buzukja can't be washed. He was never good in the first place. Yes. His takedown defense looked good against Francis Marshall. Luana has a better WikiFeed score than Grasso. No, yeah, she does. She's a very good wiki score. Very good. Got to go with Grad. Grad fights like an art. Yeah, a little bit, man. A little bit. So Buzukja, you're supposed to be a striker. Okay. Yeah. Supposed to be a striker. Brady, Buzukja is actually good at speaking Albanian. Okay. I always ask the same question about Dennis. Yeah, I just haven't figured it out yet. I'm trying to figure it out. His name is Buzukja. That adds in 10% to his win on. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a cool last name, man. It's a very cool last name.
Yeah.
I always get a Dennis Buzukja when I go to BJ's. What is that?
It's probably a sandwich shop, probably in New York, where they named a sandwich the Dennis Buzukja.
Oh my!
Because it's like a bazooka. It could be like a huge sandwich, when you call it the Buzukja.
Ooh.
But I don't know. I'm guessing that.
Nice. My parlay was perfect on Saturday. Thanks to you, by the way. There you go. I had 2 parlays that went 1-1 on them. I hope you've been cleaning up on these past couple cards, Brady. It should help with the money problems. It's been a really good last 12 weeks for me. The money problems are good, doing good, my friend. Who's better between Connor Matthews and Lucas Alexander? I mean, Connor Matthews is the worst.
Yeah, Lucas has got dangerous striking.
I think someone's getting served. Probably, I think it's one of those fights where it's like somebody should get served, and I think it might go over, man. I think these guys are going to swing dicks. I think they're both going to get hurt. I think it might be one of those wars that just somehow go to decision. I'm late. Sorry. Did we address how funny it was watching Bonfim crumble to adversity as predicted? Yeah, man. If you haven't checked out the Fight Companion, check it out. We had a fun time. Watching that one live. It was hilarious. Lucas Alexander was beating Grad, though. He just gassed himself out. Yep. Yeah. 8 likes away from 100. There we go. Let's get that 100 mark. Let's get the 100 mark, guys. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. It is going to be Mark Vologdin going against Borislav Nikolic. We got Vologdin, 26 years old, 5'3" with a 65-inch reach. We got Nikolic, 33 years old, 5'9" with a 73-inch reach. We got Vologdin, 7 years younger. It's going to be Nikolic with a 6-inch height advantage and an 8-inch reach advantage. Holy crap. Vologdin is 3-1-1 draw in his last 5 fights. He had that decision loss against Martinetti on the Contender Series, and then he had a draw against John Castaneda. As far as Nikolic, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. So I was actually pissed, Weezy, because I taped the Josias Musasa Vologdin fight, and then all of a sudden Musasa pulled out and then in-stepped Nikolic, and I was gonna not include it into my prediction video. I was gonna do it later, in a couple of days. But I'm glad I looked into Nikolic, man. This guy is fun. This guy is the definition of a marauder. I think he's finished all but one of his wins, and he's one of these guys who's just gonna come forward, land massive shots, really good at mixing it up to the body, has a ton of power in his hands, and he also has an extremely good opportunistic submission game where he's not really gonna wrestle you. But if you wrestle him and you make a mistake, he's going to snatch your neck up. He has a ton of wins by submissions when guys are making mistakes and shooting it on them when they're hurt or tired, stuff like that. So, Nikolic looks pretty good to me. He looks super tough. He's never been knocked out, and he's going to be much bigger here. I mean, I can't believe how much bigger Nikolic is going to be than Vologdin. Like, Vologdin he's just not a bantamweight. This guy should probably be a freaking strawweight. I mean, this guy is so small. 8-inch reach advantage is insane. And I'm worried about Vologdin. This guy's only 26 years old, but in fight years, he might be 80 with the amount of damage he's taken in these last 2 fights. He went to war with Martinetti, ate almost 250 significant strikes. took a ton of damage there, and then took a ton more damage against John Castaneda. He was almost finished on that fight multiple times. He looked awful. He gassed out. He got hurt to the body multiple times, hurt to the head multiple times. It was a miracle that he didn't get finished in that fight. And the only reason it was a draw, because I believe John Castaneda got a point taken away from kicking Vologdin in the dick. But I don't know. This guy, I'm just not sure he has much of a ceiling in the UFC. He has no striking defense. He's way too small. He's not well-rounded. He has solid striking, but I don't think he has good cardio. I think it's a really bad matchup for Vologdin here. Nikolic is just going to pressure. He's going to land shots and big shots cleanly because Vologdin doesn't defend shots. Nikolic is going to go to the body. Nikolic is probably going to have the better cardio. I think he's probably more durable. So, I like Nikolic here. We don't have a line on this fight yet, I don't believe. And Nikolic is a 33-year-old bantamweight, but this guy looks pretty good to me. So, I think it's an even tougher matchup than Mousasi because Nikolic is much more experienced than Mousasi. I think he's much more durable than Mousasi, and he's much, much more well-rounded than Mousasi because Mousasi is a white belt, and this guy's not. So I think Vologdin kind of got screwed here. I think it's going to be a tough matchup. I think this has potential to even be fight of the night on a card where there's a ton of fun fights. This guy, Nikolic, is in a ton of fun fights, and so is Vologdin. So I'm going Nikolic here. We don't have a line on it yet, though, Weez. I don't think.
No, not yet. I don't think. I don't even think it's out on Bet Online yet. I was looking just before showtime.
Yeah, we don't. I'm curious to see where they put it because Vologdin was a dog against the white belt Josias Mousasi.
Yeah, and Mousasi's, a white belt, but like that guy's got kind of a difficult style to deal with because of the constant pressure and how hard he hits. But yeah, I didn't get a chance. Like this was the last fight to get made, and I didn't get a chance to really look into Nikolic. I know that he's the Brave FC bantamweight champion, and that's a really good organization where you're going to get a lot of tough fights. So he's not only won it there, but he's defended it. So he's going to face. He's probably faced at least as good of a level of competition as Vologdin, if not better. But I didn't get a chance to tape Nikolic, so I'm going to just say, Brady, if you're the type of person who lives around other people and you're out there cooking cabbage regularly, you're a bad fucking person, okay? Yeah. Like I'm having to like directly breathe this shit, and this is spearmint. Like I'm getting this spearmint gas like right in my face, and I could still smell this cabbage. So if you cook cabbage, fuck you right in the ear because it's bullshit. Nobody should have to smell that, all right? And if you're gonna do it somewhere where nobody else has to smell it because it makes you a bad fucking person. It makes you a bad neighbor and a bad person. This shit, I can't even tell you how angry I am right now, man. It's invading my nose and there's nothing that I can do about it. I just have to sit here and fucking take it. And I'm trying to entertain people. I'm trying to talk about these great fights in Serbia. And damn, this horrible smell, dude.
It's the worst smell in the world.
Disgusting, man. It's absolutely disgusting. Who cooks cabbage? The hell's wrong with you if you do that? Do you have no sense of smell? Do people in Poland not have a sense of smell that it affects them?
I don't know,
fucking
man.
horrible. Nothing wrong with cabbage? Who said that? Nora Shy. Get the fuck out of here. There's plenty wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it if you're eating it raw.
Oh, God.
Eat it raw. That was the way it was meant to be. You don't cook lettuce. That's fucking terrible, man.
Oh, gosh.
God.
That's terrible, man. Cabbage is the worst.
It's the worst.
Yeah, Vologdin should move down to atomweight, man. Like, what's he doing up at bantamweight? He's an atomweight. What's he doing? Go to atomweight. Full mark. The Contender Series fight was ridiculous. It was a fun fight, man. Markets overrate Vologdin dramatically. Had Castaneda and Mousasi as dogs. Might be another buy low spot on Nikolic. I'd be fairly surprised if Nikolic was the dog here, but baby man Vologdin, I'm taking the over on strikes and over 2.5 rounds. The question is Nikolic a can crusher or how was the competition? It wasn't horrible. He's not a can crusher. He's not fighting in a shopping mall, if that's what you're asking. Vologdin's small too. He needs to drop down to 115. Yeah, agreed. I'm so weary of Nikolic debut being hyped up. Tuchelov looked lost in the first round versus Ibero in his debut. Debuts are so sketch. They are. But Tuchelov only had 5 fights. So, this guy Nikolic has, I think, 18 fights.
Yeah, more than that. Yeah, 18 pro fights, 16 wins, 15 finishes.
Yeah, Tuchelov's a bum, dude. I wouldn't look too much into it. Brandon Wees, I'm calling it right now. Vologdin is going to hit this dude with a spinning fat kick upside the head, Chris Barnett style. He's been training on it nonstop on social media. It's coming. Yeah, you never know, man. You never know.
He's a fun striker, man. Vologdin's a fun fighter.
Yeah, screw cabbage. Screw cabbages.
Disgusting.
Oh, gosh. Oh, God. Oh,
jeez. Plenty wrong with it when you cook it. Nothing wrong with it raw. Nothing wrong with it raw, but cooking it is disgusting.
What about cooking, microwaving fish in the office microwave?
Yeah, that's not good either. I mean, that's definitely bad.
Oh, goodness. Oh, Weezy lives next to the Cabbage Patch Kids. Oh, gosh.
One of these dudes upstairs is a chef, like a good one, too. I wonder if it's him that's doing this.
Grown man crying about cabbage. I'll smack you, boys. Is that your neighbor, man?
Yeah. Bop, 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 bop. You come here and say it to my face, dude. Especially if I'm sniffing that cabbage, I will put your head through a wall. I don't care who you are. You can be the heavyweight champion of the world. You get in my face and talk to me about cabbage when I'm smelling it. I'll turn into Superman. I'll absolutely destroy you. I'll become Brad Katona.
Where's the moderators at? Do we have moderators? Come on, guys. This guy put Dixon, you're a moderator. What are you doing, dude?
Bop, 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 bop. Get him out of here. What are you?
This guy sent 20 messages. Dixon, come on, man.
Oh, God.
Come on.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I predict Vologdin 240. I wish we had a line on it. I wish we had a line. I wish we had totals, but we don't have either of those, Weezy. What are these fights are early Saturday. They're early. We've got totals.
Oh, we do?
For the main card.
Okay.
Wow.
What do we got? 1.5 rounds for Rodriguez Medic, of course. It's a Uros Medic fight.
That's what they're going to do for this card. Everything set at 1.5. That's what they're going to do. We're going to have 10 fights set at 1.5 this week.
Oh, wow. Generational wealth. How is the over 2.5 rounds in a Navajo Sterling fight only minus 135? It's Jan Blachowicz, man. I don't think he's going to knock out Blachowicz.
No.
Blachowicz isn't going to do anything.
Yeah, that's
that
gross.
Fight's coasting over.
All these are gross, man. Just gross. So that's what they're going to do this week. Everything's set at 1.5. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. And it is going to be, the debut of Michael Oliveira, and he's taking on Oban Elliott. There we go. Oban Elliott, 28 years old, 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. Michael Oliveira, 28 years old, 6'1" with a 78-inch reach. Got same age there. Oliveira, 1-inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. Oban Elliott, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He beat Preston Parsons by decision, Val Woodburn by decision, Basel Hafez by 3rd round KO. He lost Suk Young Ko by decision and then lost to Jonathan Mikhailov by submission. As far as Michael Oliveira, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He's coming off of a brutal knockout win against poor Victor Valenzuela, who probably lost 30 years off of his life with a brutal 2nd round knockout. That was probably a late stoppage, courtesy of one Keith Peterson. I've been waiting for the debut of Michael Oliveira for a very long time. This guy is one of the most terrifying prospects in the game right now. Finally making his debut. I've been having it. I've been waiting for it, and it's finally here, and he's taking on Oban Elliott. This guy, Oliveira, comes forward like Michael Myers, and he just slowly breaks you down with pressure, just constant pressure, constant power. And then he just starts to turn it up as the fight goes on, and he's looking to absolutely take your head off. There are question marks about his ground game. What's his takedown defense look like? What's his ground game look like? I don't know, because he's knocking guys out and nobody's been able to take him down. But yeah, he's going to pressure Oban Elliott, and he's going to try to take his head off, Weezy. So it should be a fun fight. Looking forward to the debut. Oban Elliott needs to bounce back. Losing to Jonathan Mikhailov, in my opinion, is a very bad look. And losing to Suk Young Ko was a very bad look as a minus 600 favorite. And he actually tricked people into thinking Suk Young Ko was a future champion. I've heard people say that Seok Ko was a future champion after he beat Oban Elliott and Phil Rowe. And it's like, guys, he beat Oban Elliott and Phil Rowe, So, yeah. Oban Elliott probably needs a win here or he might get cut, Weezy.
He better wrestle his ass off. He better wrestle. He better turn into Ismail Bonfim out there and just grab onto that single leg and hold on for dear life. He does not want to stand in front of Michael Oliveira. And look, Oban Elliott's all right. He's a decent European fighter. He's got decent wrestling. He's got a good level of regional scene competition. He's got some UFC fights against a decent level of competition. And Seok Ko's a good wrestler. He got out wrestled by Seok Ko, but Oban's tall and long for the division. He's got a little bit of power. He's not a bad fighter, but like Michael Oliveira, you just cannot stand in front of this guy. You're not winning that battle against this guy. He looks like he's a statue that came to life. He's got a ton of power, but the ground game is where you are going to need to have success against this guy if you're going to beat him. And we've seen Oban Elliott go out there and get takedowns. He out-wrestled Val Woodburn. Who does that to Val Woodburn?
Nobody.
Exactly. So, we got to remember that it's not just the Seok Ko fight and the Mikhailov fight. There was a good performance against Basil Hafez. There was a good performance against Preston Parsons, who actually is a good wrestler, who actually is a good grappler, and he wasn't able to have success against Oban. So, maybe Oban can wrestle here, because if he doesn't, Brady, I think it's pretty predictable how this fight's going to turn out. If you just stand in front of Michael Oliveira, it's going to be a bad day at the office for you, and you're going to have a bad time.
So yeah, his game plan probably has to be humping his leg, but we haven't seen it. It seems like it's going to be tough to take down Michael Oliveira. This guy's built like a freaking statue. Have you ever tried to take down a statue, Uncle Weezy?
Dude, I have. I tried to take down a fire hydrant once, and it would be pretty much the same as trying to take down a statue. Completely pointless and stupid.
Yeah,
just like cooking cabbage. Pointless, stupid, inconsiderate, and stinky.
Oh gosh, yeah. So, yeah, the path is to hump his leg for 15 minutes, because if he doesn't hump his leg, he's going to get marched down and knocked out. Like this guy, it's not like Elliott hasn't been knocked out before. Got TKO'd by, I think, was it Michael Figlak and somebody else in the Cage Warriors, I think. But he's been knocked out a couple times. He's been sub. He's been finished. So, yeah, I like Oliveira here. He is a pretty big favorite. Open at minus 275, currently minus 300. Elliott opened up plus 235, currently plus 245. There's no way I'm betting against this guy. This guy's horrifying. I think he's a Brazilian Special Forces, right?
Paratrooper, dude.
Oh gosh.
So that's like elite. When you're in that top 1% of your military class, they start bringing you out Special Forces opportunities, paratrooper. Some of those things that like the sane people aren't trying to jump out of planes, man. So he's a badass.
I bet Oban Elliott wouldn't jump out of a plane.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he might. I think Oban's got maybe a little bit of a screw loose.
Yeah.
I think he probably does. But Michael Oliveira did jump out of planes over and over and over again.
He's a scary dude, man. I don't know. I don't want to be in the same cage as that guy.
Nope.
Am I wrong thinking Mateusz has zero value? The money line is the under or his finish props. Yeah, the under opened at a crap price and it's getting smashed as we speak. So yikes. The under is already minus 170 in the Mateusz fight. The under
it was just minus 145 5 minutes ago.
Oh, it's like the opener was awful. Now it's minus 170. And then the Cepo fight, who we'll talk about, the under is already minus 175. It's like, give me a break.
Not expensive enough. It'll go to minus 250.
Don't say that.
Anybody who's watched tape on that dude is betting the under. I promise.
No. We got. I have a strong case for the over in that fight for sure.
Yeah.
Cepo, it's like he's fighting at the DMV. That guy. He's like the Jan Blachowicz of the middleweight division.
Nurulo Aliyev.
Oh gosh, the Magomed Ankalaev of the middleweight division. All right, so we do have a total here. So the over-under is at 1.5. Over 1.5 is minus 136. Under 1.5 is plus 116. I want to warn everybody that Oliveira used to be a round one monster where he's sparking guys, but now he's a lot more patient and he's going to kind of slowly break you down. So the under is tricky because I think it might come around that like 7.5 minute mark type thing. So I even kind of might even lean like over. I wouldn't bet it, but I think I kind of actually might lean over. But yeah, no strong lean on the total for me. But it's nice having totals to talk about. -136 to the over, +116 to the under. Musayev would have cooked this dude. Vologdin was going all in on Musayev. I'm just not high on Vologdin, man. I just smashed the over 2.5 -135. It's a good look, man. It's a good look. Oh, wait.
Not for this fight.
Sterling. Exactly. And it got smashed as well.
Yeah, now it's -165. I mean, like, there's no way that was going to sit at -135. No way.
No. Rest in peace, Oban. Poor Oban.
It's a tough matchup.
Oban is a dog. Got to take it. I don't got to take it. Oban looked horrible in his last couple fights.
I don't got to take it.
No. Michael Oliveira is this week's Damian's big penis. He has penis has a lot more power, but Oliveira has some power in his own right. But he kind of just breaks you down type thing. I feel Oban, the wrestling talk wasn't a gimmick, but CT slowly creeping in now. Let's see. Who has Oban taken down? So was Val Woodburn the only guy he took down? Let's see.
Oh, he got a couple guys. He out wrestled Preston Parsons. I remember Parsons like trying to take him down.
So yeah, he got a takedown against Parsons, and he got a couple against Woodburn.
And even on in Cage Warriors, you'd see him getting takedowns in Cage Warriors. He got 4 takedowns on Dana White's Contender Series against Brito, 3 takedowns against Val Woodburn in 9 minutes control time in that fight. And seriously, nobody does that to Val Woodburn.
Didn't Woodburn drop him though? Oh.
Well, I mean, but Val Woodburn's incredible, though.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to get dropped by Val Woodburn. It's just,
that's true,
you're setting foot into the cage with that man. Bad things are going to happen. But at the end of the day, he got the W there. And then, 5 minutes of control time on 1 takedown against Parsons. And Parsons only went 1 for 9 on his takedowns against Oban with less than 2 minutes of control time. So I think that's why going into the fight, he was such a big favorite. It was because he was actually winning minutes and banking rounds with his wrestling, and then he had just knocked out Hafez in the fight after the Parsons fight. So, if you catch guys at the right time with the right amount of momentum and you're not real high on their ceiling, you can find those opportunities. There were a lot of people on Seokhyun Ko that week because the line had just went too wide.
Yeah, it was massive. Rather spend 6 months in a Mexican prison than 1.5 rounds. And with Michael Oliveira, well,
I agree.
You wouldn't need 1.5 rounds, man. Oh, this he's horrifying.
Try 1.5 seconds and I'd be on a stretcher in a neck brace.
Michael Oliveira is a chump. I want to see you say that to this guy's face. He probably wouldn't understand you. I don't know if he speaks English, but maybe we'll get a translator, have you translate.
Probably just sign an autograph and walk away.
Blues got taking a shot on Oban. Yeah, a lot of people are. The line's coming in. Oban and Mike Davis. What? Yeah, Toto's got posted for this fight. 1.5. I feel like they're going to set every fight at 1.5 this week besides the Sterling fight and the Chick fights. I think we might have 10 fights set at 1.5 this week. Oban Elliott is about to get piped. Yeah, could potentially be a piping of the week. Oban is the Welsh gang. That is true. He's the Welsh gangster. That's a good point. Michael Oliveira, possible piping. Could be. We got a lot of options for a piping this week, man. It's going to be crazy. Michael Oliveira, yep. Got Klein -215 and a jump to -250. Wow. Jeez. What kind of gangster gets choked out by Jonathan McKay? That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. I have fight doesn't start round 3 at Medic fight at -250. Good parlay. Yeah, I agree. I wish it was a better number, but they're onto it. I do agree. Got the under in the Cowan fight at +185. Not bad. Cowan fight. What? You're joking, right? Let me take. No, you're joking. You're joking. What, man? What? I feel like they're watching the show, man. I feel like they're watching. Wheezy, they had the over-under for the Cowan fight. It said at 2.5. Under was +185, which I liked. and then they took it off and they set it at 1.5 for a bantamweight female fight. Set it at 1.5. They put it at 1.5. I think they're watching the show, man. I think you're muted though.
No, I was just waiting for you to finish.
Yeah.
Let me put it in my model and see how far that is off from like the divisional averages here. So, Milosevic, Cowan, they have the under 1.5 at what?
The under 1.5 is at plus 180. Wow, that's weird. Plus 185.
185 for the under. Yeah, so that's about 14% overpriced. So what is it? Minus 220 for the over?
Minus 225, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, minus 225.
Jeez, everything's set at 1.5 this week.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is going to be such a violent card. The matchmakers did a great job on this one.
Told you guys it was the most violent card of the year. So everything, we got a bunch of 1.5. So, which I don't love. I don't love betting under 1.5. Like a lot can go wrong. It feels like. Yeah. But the Milosevic fight going to 1.5 is wild. Hit the like button or get piped. Agreed. It got hammered. Oh gosh. Oh goodness. Oh,
Tactic or syndicate.
Oh no, I didn't hammer nothing, man. All right, I'm trying to do a show. All right, moving on to the next fight. We got Ludovit Klein going against that dirty, rotten cheater, dirty cheater, Tofiq Musayev. We got Ludovit Klein, 31 years old, 5'7" with a 72-inch reach. That dirty cheater, Musayev. He's 36 years old, 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. We got Klein 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against AJ Cunningham, the very durable AJ Cunningham. Decision win against Thiago Moises. Decision win against Roosevelt Roberts. Decision loss against Mateusz Gamrot, and then a decision win against Mateusz Rebecki. As far as Musayev, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against my tittyback Oralby. Lost that fight by submission, and then had a decision win against Ignacio Bahamondes. So, Weezy, I know you were on it too, but I think one of my most brutal beats of the year, I had Ignacio Bahamondes by submission. What was it? I think like around plus 800.
Yeah.
And he had like 4 or 5 really good attempts. I also had the under in that fight, and somehow it went over where, I mean, it should have finished like 50 times. But yeah, we saw Bahamondes hurt him at one point. Bahamondes was actually about to finish him, Weezy, in the second round. He was, landing a bunch of shots, trying to knock him out. And then he used the cage to stand back up. You can't use the cage to stand back up. Yeah. But this guy Musayev's a cheater. And then he pulled the biggest cheat of all time. He headbutted Bahamondes on the mat. It was a blatant headbutt. That's the type of stuff that gets you DQ'd. Like we saw Ariana Carnelosi get a DQ. Was it Carnelosi DQ win?
Yeah, Carnelosi got won because of DQ because of Piero Rodriguez headbutted her twice.
Yeah.
And the second time came right after the first warning from the referee.
Yeah, it was a bad. I went back and watched it. It was a bad headbutt. Like you can't do that, Musayev. So this guy's a dirty cheater. I bet he's cheating on his wife right now. I bet he's in Serbia, fucking a bunch of bitches in Serbia right now. And he's getting old. He's 36 years old. He has a ton of fights, a lot of tread on the tires. He's taken a ton of damage. He's been getting hurt, rocked, and dropped in a lot of these fights. These days. His grappling stinks. He has some of the worst grappling you'll ever see. That's why me and you both bet the sub prop for Bahamondes, and it was close on multiple different occasions. So, but yeah, Ludovit Klein, I think he's really good. Really good striking, some wrestling, solid grappling. He's a pretty good fighter, but he is coming off of a pretty brutal injury that took place. When was that Rebecki fight? Last year. So it's been about 7 months, 8 months.
9 months for Ludovit Klein since the last,
Yeah, so he's coming off of a pretty brutal injury. I thought, was it an ankle or a leg, something?
I thought it was like was it a hamstring or?
I don't know what it was, but it looked bad. It looked pretty bad, but
like he couldn't walk after the fight, right? He got hurt badly. Was it in the end of the second or maybe there was in the third round or something?
Third round, and he was tough enough to survive, which is crazy. Because if it was Ismail Bonfim, he would have quit. So, man. I mean, I like Klein here outside of the injury and layoff and whatnot. I think Klein's better everywhere. I don't think Musayev's that great. Like he has some power, but he's a cheater with no grappling. I think the durability is iffy. I think the cardio is iffy. See, I lean Klein here, but yeah, he's a pretty decent. I kind of thought the line would be closer, to be honest, but Klein is apparently like minus 250 now. So, yeah, I don't think I'll lay that much chalk on Klein, but I do lean his way. I think he has more ways to win. I think it'd be wise to mix in that grappling. Like Klein has his first 8 wins, I think, were all by submission. He hasn't had a sub win in like 10 years. I think, why not dust off that BJJ? I think it's a brown belt. How about you dust off that BJJ brown belt, Klein, and then submit this white belt? But I think it could sub him. I think it could hurt him. I think he could win by decision. Whereas with Musayev, I think his path is probably like landed a big shot and knocking out Klein, which is going to be tough to do. So, yeah, I lean Klein. Just wish it was a better price. Kind of like every fight on this card. I wish it was a better price,
Yeah, there's a lot of matchups where there's a pretty clear A side, and that pretty clear A side is minus 250, minus 300 in a lot of these fights, and in some cases even more expensive. And with Musayev, you got a guy that's primarily a moment winner. He's 18-1 to the KO, but to the submission he's only 2-4. To the decision he's 3-1, which is a good record, but only 4 of his 29 fights have went to decision. So this guy isn't, you're the type of person that's going to go out there and win minutes and bank rounds a lot. And like against Bahamondes, he won a unanimous decision, but Bahamondes had him in bad spots, that could have potentially gotten him out of there at certain points. So Klein is somebody who should be able to mix in a little bit of grappling, but maybe he might not, because that's the problem is that you can't count on him to do that at this level. He's definitely a lot more comfortable on the feet than he is at distance striking range. And that's where Musayev is at his most dangerous. He's got the ability to win moments at distance striking range. 18 of the 23 career wins are by knockout. So we're going to see if Klein decides to stay at distance striking range with this guy, because if you look at his last 5 fights, Rebecki, Gamrot, Roosevelt Roberts, Thiago Moises, AJ Cunningham. None of those guys are guys that you're going to fear their striking very much. Maybe Rebecki, but even Rebecki was losing minutes on the feet to Grant Dawson last fight. So, yeah, you can't really say that the guy's like an elite striker by any stretch of the imagination, but Musayev is a guy who makes his money with the power in his hands. So, if Klein just stands in front of this dude and gives him a striking match that he wants, it's going to give Musayev some opportunities. But if Klein mixes the martial arts, makes this guy clinch, makes this guy wrestle a little bit, makes him defend some submissions on the mat, I think he can make him slow down and, either win a decision, by banking rounds, or find a finish late in the fight, maybe with one of those head kicks that Ludovit Klein is so known for. So I just think he's a lot more dangerous wherever the fight goes, Klein.
Yeah. So the over under is set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 is minus 160. The under 2.5 is plus 140. That's kind of interesting, because I think Musayev, if he wins, it's knockout. That's pretty much how he all wins all fights outside of the Bahamondes fight, which, I'm shocked didn't finish. Like, he could have finished that fight on the ground, and he almost get finished a couple times. And then Klein couldn't get a knockout or a sub. So I'm kind of surprised the under's at plus 140. But I could see a Klein decision as well. So, yeah, I don't know about this fight. But, yeah, Klein around minus 230. Yeah, 230 now. Sorry I'm late. I'll have to adjust the new broadcast situation. Adjust to the new broadcast situation. Oh, the Dutton Ranch, yeah. Australian bitches are loose AF. What? What?
I've never been there, so I don't know.
Jeez, come on, man. Hopefully no Australian bitches are watching the show. They're probably really upset now. I got the under 2.5 for the same price. For this fight, yeah, it's plus 140, right? This is an even fight. Ludovit Klein probably stronger. Pretty soon we will get UFC Saturdays and NFL Sundays. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's coming up.
Klein best bet on the card. What do I know? Okay. Big Marley's liking Klein. I don't hate it, man. Like, I'm not high on this Musayev guy at all. Like, he's getting older. Mr. Highlight Klein. He's not wrong. Australian women are loose. Okay. All right. Maybe they're loose. Okay. I guess you learn something new every day. I would
Oi, I was just watching Stat Diggers and they're calling us loose.
Oh gosh. Oh goodness.
We're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah. let's just move on. Let's move on. So that was the featured prelim, I think. I don't know. But this is going to be on the main card for sure. It is Vlasto Cepo going against Gilbert Urbina. We got Cepo, 31 years old, 6'1". Urbina, 30 years old, 6'3" with a 75-inch reach. We got Urbina 1 year younger, 2-inch height advantage. Cepo 4-1 in his last 5 fights. All those fights ending by knockout. Urbina is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. A submission loss to Brian Battle in round 2. A knockout win against Orion Kosi. Nobody does that. A knockout loss against Charles Racky and a knockout loss against Uros Medic. So, Weezy, this is the fight on the card that I'm looking forward to the most. I mean, this Vlasto Cepo guy is absolutely insane. Like, this guy reminds me a lot of Manuel Torres because this guy's loco as hell, dude. Like, this guy's looking to go out there and take your head off and take it off within the first 30 seconds. He's extremely aggressive, and he's extremely fun to watch. There's one big problem, though, Weezy. This guy has the worst ground game in UFC history. You know, I'm talking worse than Elise Reed. I'm talking worse than Yazong Hu. I'm talking, this guy has the worst ground game I've ever seen. He's getting taken down and held down by bums. He's getting put into bad spots by bums. He's getting finished on the mat by bums. I mean, this guy can't grapple. This guy cannot grapple at all, which makes this fight interesting because, you know, he's a big favorite. I mean, I can't lay minus 300 on this guy when Gilbert Urbina has a path to victory. You know, Urbina has awful fight IQ. He has an awful haircut. He has an awful chin, but he can grapple. Like, he can wrestle, he can grapple. And if you lay minus 300 on Cepo, and Urbina gets the ground game going, like, Urbina is like actually very live to win this fight. So I kind of think this line's wild. I think people are betting against Urbina, which makes sense. You know, why not?
Yeah.
I've bet against Urbina a ton, but I'm worried, like, if Urbina fights smart, like randomly fights smart, he might pull off a massive upset here, Weezy. So I will not be touching Cepo at minus 300. I was planning on touching an under, but the under 1.5 rounds has been obliterated and is currently minus 200. Minus 200, and it just opened up like 20 minutes ago. So, yeah, the under 1.5 was going to be my look here, but, and to be fair, there might even be value on that, Weezy. There might even be value on the under 1.5 at minus 200. I mean, this is going to be incredible. But I just want to caution people, you know, minus 300 on a guy that can't grapple. I'd be careful. So I'm going to take Cepo to win this fight by knockout in the first 30 seconds of the fight. But if this fight hits the mat, it's going to get bad. It's going to get pretty bad, Weezy.
You know, two things can be true at the same time, you know, and the first thing is that this guy, Vlasto Cepo, is so exciting, so much fun to watch. Like, when you watch this guy's tape, you're going to be totally entertained. But what's also true is that he's probably the least skilled fighter that I've ever seen get signed to the UFC. This guy fights like I would if I caught somebody fucking like cooking cabbage in my place. Like, I walked in and I found some random stranger just cooking cabbage on my stove because he knew it would piss me off. I'd go after that guy in a way that Vlasto Cepo goes after all of his opponents, which is just with an absolute furious anger and just like unleashing fury. There's no skill in his striking. There's even less skill in his grappling, which is some of the worst that I've ever seen. But Jah help you if this guy lands on you. He's like a white Braxton Smith with tattoos, Brady.
Oh,
he really is. He's on that level of Braxton Smith skill, you know. But if he lands,
nighty night.
It's going to be, you're going to wake up looking at the lights just going, ow, you know. It's going to be so bad for you. So, and like, it's just so easy to picture Urbina going in there with a shitty mullet and just getting the side of his head caved in. You know what I mean? You can just picture it, dude. You can picture it. You can picture this guy going in on a single leg like he's Ismail Bonfim and just getting the absolute shit caved in out of his head. So I can't wait for this fight, man. This is awesome. You know, you're sending the RGV bad boy all the way to Belgrade, Serbia to fight Vlasto Cepo, who's going to have the crowd behind him, and they're going to be showing up for this guy because this guy puts on super fun fights, Brady. So yeah, this is great. I like probably unders, you know, and Urbina is going to have some upside if he gets a takedown and puts this dude's back flat on the mat.
He's going to finish him.
Might be over.
Finish him. Yeah. If he gets a takedown, the fight's over. This guy's ground game is so bad, dude. So bad.
It's terrible, and it's getting exploded. Like you could see there are fights where in round one, like somebody's standing in front of them, swinging with them, and then they get a takedown late, and then they go back to their corner, going, "Wait, there's just so much easier of a way to do this," and then they just take them down in the second round and finish them. You know, like that guy Wozniak did. That's exactly what Wozniak did when he beat him. You know, it's like, oh shit. I could just get this guy down and he's got nothing for me there. So, yeah, you can't really lay minus 300 on Cepo because he can absolutely get finished on the mat. His ground game, he's a 0 on the mat. He's a transparent belt. He trains his grappling with Junior Tafa.
And Kong Wong.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Who Tracy Cortez didn't wrestle.
It looks like Urbina is rocking that shitty mullet. So that's if you're on the Urbina side, you don't like to hear that. But he's a big dog here. So, I mean, if somebody's going to bust the parlays this week, it's probably going to be Cepo. But I'm still picking him to win by knockout in the first 20 seconds of the fight. Urbina's so chinny, dude. Urbina, one shot, Urbina might go down type chinny. So it's a hilarious fight. Like this, if you're a fan of Terrence McKinney fights and Manuel Torres fights and Daniel Lacerda de Silva fights, this is one of them. This is just like it, man. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to finish. It's going to be violent. Don't pick a side. Maybe take a total, but the total is getting obliterated as we speak.
Dude, Vlasto Cepo is going to look like Anthony Johnson when this fight is on the feet. And when this fight is on the mat, Gilbert Urbina is going to look like Damian Maia. And if you don't believe me, go watch the tape. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a fun fight, man.
It's going to be amazing. It's my favorite fight on the card. My favorite fight on the card.
It's a good one, dude.
What do you think about throwing a little money on Musayev first round? Yeah, that's probably when he's most dangerous. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this cheater. He's probably cheating right now. He's looking at why, man? Medic can't grapple either, but he beat Urbina. Man, I was heavy on Urbina in that fight too. Yeah, Urbina dropped Medic, and I was like, dang, that's not good.
That was crazy because I was so big on Medic there, and I was like, no, you know, like when he got dropped, I was like, this is going to be really embarrassing if this doesn't work out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Cepo makes Sirikus Dumas look like Damian Maia on the mat for sure. For sure. For UFC 333 in October, the main event will almost certainly be Evloev Volkanovski. And the co-main event, Merab Yan. Do you guys agree? I don't know. Have they even announced any of these yet?
Well, not yet. I mean, like we're still like 3 weeks away from UFC 330.
I could have swore there was probably a fake. You never know with these fake announcements, but I could have swore that I saw that Evloev Volkanovski might be next.
Okay.
But Merab, I don't know. Have you guys seen Merab lately? Like his nose is off the side of his face. Like I'm kind of worried about him, man. Like
him and Jack Della.
Yeah, both are bad. But Merab's nose is about to fall off. It looks like. So I don't know if we're going to see Merab for a while. This is under parlay boys. Let's go parlayed with the Vologdin under. They have Vologdin under out. They don't even have a money line out though, right?
No, yeah, we don't have a line for that fight yet, so no total.
Must be talking about a different fight. And by the way, they've got all the totals out. They're all set at 1.5. Leka Poppeck set at 1.5. The over minus 185. Janicic, Gugnon. The over-under set at 1.5. The over 1.5 minus 115. Milosevic set at 1.5. Grad Buzukja set at 2.5. There we go. Elliott, Oliveira 1.5. Cepo, Urbina 1.5. Valentin, Todorovic 1.5. Tybura, Rakic 1.5. Medic, Rodriguez 1.5. Wheezy. Oh my gosh. I've never seen somebody 1.5s.
That's a ton of them, dude. We've only got 2.5s? No, 3 of them.
Yeah, we got 8 1.5s, and then we're still missing two totals.
Wow.
Crazy. 8 1.5s. It's insane.
I mean, it's that kind of a card.
Yeah. Shep Urbina reminds me of Dulatov tournament. Well, I wish we got to see that. I wish we got to see Dulatov tournament. That would have been cool, man.
Yeah.
That would have been so cool.
That would have been a great fight.
Why couldn't they have made Cepo versus Gondra? That's a better fight. Well, they're trying. I think they're trying to get Cepo a win in Serbia. Like they're like, who the hell can we give this bum Cepo to get a win in Serbia? Let's give him Gilbert Urbina who can't take a punch. Let's
get the RGV bad boy on the phone. You know, that's why we pay this guy the big bucks. Get him on the phone. You know.
I guess they could have gave Cepo Jubilee. I guess they could have given him. Where's the actual Jubilee? Was Leka fight canceled? No, Jimenez had to pull out in steps Poppeck.
Yeah.
So, shout out Daniel Lacerda, who got knocked out in a few seconds against Andre Yule this weekend. Really?
Damn, Andre Yule still doing it.
Wow. Shout out Andre Yule. Wasn't he one of the guys that had custody battles involving his children? Was that Yule?
You know, if it was, I think the only reason we found out about it was because John Anik, for some reason, thought that was the best way to start calling the fight. Like, Anik, seriously? Like, did he ask you to say that? You know, I just feel like some things you're supposed to keep to yourself. I don't know. I don't know.
It was hilarious, man. I remember watching that fight, and John Anik was like, both of these guys are dealing with custody battles and involving their children. I had to rewind it. I'm like, what? I think it was Yul versus Chris Gutierrez back in 2021. Jeez. I think that's both those guys were dealing with custody. Hopefully everything worked out.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Prayers up.
Got that right. All right. Let's keep moving on. Before we do so, we got 516 of you guys in here. If you guys could smash the like button for us. If you're on YouTube, if you're watching on X, hit the repost for us. We do appreciate it. Subscribe as well. We go live every Sunday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. We are never a second late. I think we even started early this time just for you guys because we are because we're looking to be professional, right? We're looking to be professional. So I think we started a couple minutes early, right?
Yeah, I think I think like 30 seconds early. You know, we're trying to, we don't even want to be early. We don't want to be late. We want to like start 6:15:00 like they do on network television. And frankly, those people are candy asses compared to us, Brady. We're way more professional than they are. Like, I'm sitting here doing a show, preventing myself from having to throw up while I smell cooked cabbage, one of the most disgusting things that can go into your olfactory glands. I'm sitting here doing it with a diffuser right next to my nose. You know why? Because that's what heroes do. Yes. That's what professionals do. And that's what entertainers do. And I'm all three, Brady. We both are.
Yes, sir.
And our audience, those are the real heroes over there.
Yep. 1000%.
I hate cabbage and I love our audience.
1000%. As an employed, I appreciate. Yeah, it's always good starting on time, man.
Yes,
it's always good starting on time. All right, let's move on to the next fight. Oh,
yes.
Oh,
let's go.
God.
Both of these guys coming off of career-defining wins, Brady.
Oh, both these guys got a win. Crazy.
Yes, career-defining wins, my friend.
Yeah, Julian LeBlanc and Jose Medina. Look at that. This fight's so gross, man. We got Dusko Todorovic going against Robert Valentin. We got Dusko, 32 years old, 6'1", with a 74-inch reach. And Valentin, 31 years old, 6'2", with a 79-inch reach. We got Valentin 1 year younger. Valentin with a 1-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. We got Valentin, who is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Ryan Loader. My bad. Lost that fight by second round TKO. Lost to Torres Finney by decision. Lost to Ateba Gaudier by knockout. And then beat Julian LeBlanc by submission. As far as Todorovic, 2-3. in his last 5 fights. Knocked out Jordan Wright. Nobody does that. Got knocked out by Christian Leroy Duncan, Mansour Abdul Malik, lost the decision to Zachary Reese, and then beat Jose Medina by submission. Nobody does that. So, yeah, man, pick your poison. Which one of these bums do you want to go with? Do you want to go with Robert Valentin, who has some of the worst fight IQ in the game, who looks awful on bottom, who I'm just not really sure what he's that great at. He's dangerous. He's very dangerous. He's got good elbows on the feet. He's got a very good opportunistic submission game. As far as Dusko, I actually think Dusko's kind of a skilled fighter. Like, he's a solid striker. He's a BJJ black belt. You know, the wrestling's okay. The ground and pound's really good, but he just has no chin. He has no durability. So, yeah, flip a coin on this one. I think I guess I lean, if I had to make a pick, I lean Dusko just because I think he has a path here. You know, if he takes down Valentin's looks so bad on bottom, and Dusko looks really good with the ground and pound. And I think minute for minute on the feet, Dusko might be doing the better work up until he gets clipped type thing. So, yeah, I'm not betting a side here. I might bet a total, but I'm guessing it's pretty awful. And under 1.5 minus 126. I don't love that. So, Weezy, what are your thoughts on this absolute? I mean, this is bad, man. This is bad. Oh, by the way, before we kick it to you, we got to shout out our guy Dravi. Yes. MMA with the $27.99, saying courtesy of Walter Walker and Ramazan Temirov. Keep up the good work, boys. Some of the best content on YouTube. Appreciate that, Dravi. He hit, I think it was maybe like a 50-1 Temirov, KO1 and Walker sub one parlay. I think it was like 50-1 or something. It was something crazy. So shout out to Dravi, man.
And he tracked it too. It was like an 11+ unit hit, man. I think the guy's up over 20 units tracked on his last 2 events. So big shout out to Dravi, one of the best in the community to do it. And I'm a huge fan. I know you are too, of the Beat the Line broadcast.
Yeah,
phenomenal show with T3 picks and picks by Pegasus. That's a great show that I watch every week. So big shout out to Dravi.
Heck yeah. And we got another one here. It's the same thing for shout out Walter Walker, man. Shout out to Walter Walker and Dravi and Temirov, all 3 sponsoring the show tonight. So big shout out to Dravi. Congratulations. A massive hit. I don't think I've seen something like that, especially having the balls to track it too. I don't think I've seen a plus 5,000 like that hit. That's crazy, man.
It's a crazy parlay to hit, man. And I mean, it was just such a brilliant play. That's Ramazan's win condition. It was Walter's win condition. And he almost got the heel hook, but then snatched up the calf slicer. Walter Walker, man, what a run that guy's on.
Stand up. And I'm on a good run, too, because I just keep betting his sub.
Yeah. I just bet the money line. I don't know why I did that. I should have just smashed
it was a great bet, you know.
It was a great bet, but it was like the sub would have been an even better bet because, I mean, it just came through like so easily.
I know.
Oh, man, what a great hit.
Heck yeah, big ups, Dravi. But yeah, Weezy, what are your thoughts on this trash fight?
I mean, it'll be a fun fight, I'm pretty sure. You know, I mean, at least they're putting guys in front of each other that are going to fight each other. You know, I mean, like Valentin's not going to – like Todorovic sometimes will look to slow things down and clinch up and kind of beat you there. But, you know, I think these guys are going to stand in front of each other and throw big shots and look to knock each other out. So it should be a fun fight. I guess I lean just a little bit more towards Valentin because of athletic ability and stuff like that. But both of these guys are dangerous, and Dusko's fighting at home in Serbia, so that could help him out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fun fight, but I don't want to plant my flag on this one because I don't really want to back either of these guys now, man. You know, and it's just it's not a good enough reason to back one of these guys because they're fighting somebody that you think is worse than them. You know, don't fade crap with crap. It's not a good thing because you often wind up betting like minus 200 on crap, you know. But what is the line here? What
Valentin's like minus 155 and Dusko's plus 135.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe a little bit thinner plus money on Dusko, but because I don't think Valentin's anything special.
I actually bet on Valentin in his last fight against LeBlanc. But that was just because LeBlanc is god awful, you know.
That took balls, man. LeBlanc's good, you know. Just like if you back Todorovic against Jose Medina, you kind of got lucky there. You feel like if that fight took place 100 times, you know, it goes Medina's way as many times as it does Dusko's. But on that one performance, because of the variance, Brady, Dusko got the job done. In another world, in a parallel universe, Jose Medina's 4-0 and one of the top prospects in the division. But this is a sport. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
This is a sport that's played on a razor's edge, Brady, and even like a brilliant fighter like Jose Medina can wind up 0-4, and you say, like, how the hell did that happen? Talented guys lose fights too. This is the UFC. It's the best. It's the preeminent mixed martial arts organization in the world.
Yeah. And this is bad. I can see this fight playing out a bunch of different ways. I could see Dusko getting on top and pounding out Valentin, who looks awful off his back. I could see Valentin landing on an elbow and knocking out the very chinny Dusko Todorovic. I could see this fight turning sloppy, like the Zach Reese fight, and going 15 minutes and giving everybody AIDS. I could see either getting a submission. I mean, I could see this fight playing out a bunch of different ways. And typically when that's the case, I just like passing, man. I think laying -155 on Valentin's criminal, but at the same time, you can't bet on Dusko because he doesn't have a chin. So it's a big, giant pass for me. Imagine Julian LeBlanc versus Jose Medina. Well, somebody has to win that one, right? Right?
Yeah, dude, that'd be a great fight. It's like jobber versus jobber, and somebody's got to win, and people are going to tune in and just laugh their ass off. They're like, that'd be the best reason to watch that fight. You'd be like, yeah, it's a low-level fight, but after it's over, you're going to get to see Julian LeBlanc or Jose Medina get their hand raised.
I'm going JDM, the real JDM.
I am too, dude. I think he wears him out in the second half of the fight, man. I think he Homer Simpsons him, gets a late takedown, and maybe finishes with ground and pound. I think that's how it would go. I think that's a good fight for Medina.
I like that call. I'm glad they put the total of this Todorovic fight at 1.5 and juiced it to the under, because it just gives me another reason not to bet on it as well. So
yeah,
you can't do that, man. Why is this fight on the main card? They still have time to change up the bout order, but
Dusko's Serbian.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's why.
Like it or not, he's the second best Serbian fighter on the roster because there were only two. It was Medic and it was Dusko. So, and then you also had Ivana Petrovic who wears the Norwegian flag next to her name because she got married and moved to Norway. So, but I believe she's of Serbian descent as well. So, but I don't think she's on the roster anymore.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
What's funny about this fight is I feel like they were in the matchmaker room thinking, like, who the hell can we get Dusko that he can go out there and get a win in Serbia? And they picked Valentin, and Valentin's still the favorite. That's what people think of Dusko, man. I've made so much money fading this guy's Dusko's chin. It's just non-existent.
Yeah, they probably tried to call Julian LeBlanc and he didn't pick up. And they're like, all right, let's call the guy that beat LeBlanc then,
Oh, gosh. So we got some inside info here. Here we go. All right, so Valentin fought his last fight with a back injury. He was fighting a total bum, so it didn't matter. Hasn't been long, so not sure if he's healed up. Back injuries I remember hearing that. I remember hearing that he was dealing with some type of injury. So those back injuries are no joke, but luckily he fought Julian LeBlanc. Valentin is the better bum. Battle of the bums. Smash the like button like Hillary Clinton smashed her. What?
Subpoena BlackBerry devices with a hammer. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah. She's from my hometown, Brady.
Okay.
She grew up about a block from where I grew up.
Nice.
Yeah. We graduated from the same high school.
Really? Did you guys go at the same time? How old is Hillary? She's probably up there, right?
So she graduated the very first year that Maine South High School opened. She went to a different school 3 years before that. So she's got to be she's probably in her early 70s, I think.
Oh wow.
I think.
Never forgive Valentin for making Loader look like an MMA fighter. Yeah, I mean that Loader fight was so bad. I think he might have got hurt in that fight, but
he broke his arm. That's why he couldn't finish the rear naked choke that he had underneath the chin. He actually had that fight finished, but he couldn't finish the choke because he had a broken arm.
Yeah. So he was hurt in that fight, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why they were cut Jordan Wright. Like he had one boring fight, and they're like, "Okay, we're done. Get out of here." And Zach Palga, it was Zach Palga's fault. Zach Palga ruined Jordan Wright.
Zach Palga's talking about that fight today on Twitter, talking about how the UFC talked to him after that fight, saying you can't fight like that anymore.
Well, yeah, you don't make a Jordan Wright fight boring.
Yeah,
Have
I
some
know.
respect to the fans.
Yep.
God, get Jordan Wright back in the UFC, man. Easy wrestling advantage to Valentin. Come on, guys. Robert mops the floor with Dusko. Remember when Roxanne Modafferi beat Macy Barber? Yeah, Macy was like minus 1,000 there. I do remember that.
She blew out her knee in the first round of that fight.
What's the best play for Serbia card and best dog? The problem with dogs is it's a chalky card. Like the only dogs I can see people like being on this week. Gugnon, I think people are gonna be on Gugnon this week. He's plus 130.
Buzukja. Gotta love Buzukja. Albania stand up.
I don't think anybody's gonna be on Buzukja.
The RGV bad boy to get takedowns in top time against Vlasto Cepo. Yeah, no, it's a rough week for underdogs, dude.
Yeah, the chalk. I think only one dog won. One dog at a pick'em won last night. So I think it's another chalky card. What's up, DFS and Wheezy? Smack the likes. Give hugs to Dykes. What?
Okay.
There you go. I wonder if Mills interviewed any fighters on this card. Valentin is a human punching bag. I miss Parker Porter too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Brady, what did you do to Colton G? I think Colton G died or something, or went to prison because they haven't heard from him.
Probably in prison. We'll hear from him when he gets released. You know we will.
Yeah, and they'll come after me. I mean, I haven't talked to him since he threatened me a couple years ago. People are on Buzukja. Got Grad dropped from minus 225 to minus 180. So I guess
it's just hard to make Grad minus 225 against anybody.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But you don't got to bet on Buzukja. You don't got to. All right, moving on. And you don't got to bet on Todorovic, Valentin either. I mean,
no. They have to make lines. We don't have to bet them, Brady.
Exactly. Because if I lost money on Robert Valentin or if I lost money on Dusko Todorovic, I don't know if I'd show up the next week. You know, how could you show your face if you bet on Robert, especially at chalk? If you lead minus 160 on Valentin and he ended up on bottom and got his head pounded through the canvas, I mean, oh gosh, you can't show up the next week doing something like that. But all right, so nothing's wrong with passing, guys. Alexander Rakic going against Marcin Tybura. We got Rakic, 34 years old, 6'4", with a 78-inch reach. Marcin Tybura, 40 years old, 6'3", with a 78-inch reach. We got Rakic, 6 years younger, 1 inch height advantage, same reach there. Rakic 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Thiago Santos. Knockout loss to Jan Blachowicz. Knockout loss to Yuri Prochazka. Decision loss against Magomed Ankalaev and a knockout loss to Azamat Murzakanov. As far as Marcin Tybura, 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Submission loss to Sergey Spivak. Knockout win against Shanata Deniz. Decision win against Mick Parkin. Knockout loss to Ante Dalia. And a decision loss to Tyrell Fortune. I don't know, man. Rakic is being smart here. This guy's on a 4-fight skid. He hasn't won a fight in 5 years. He hasn't finished a fight in 7 years. And he's like, okay, I need a win. Let me move up to heavyweight division, which is absolute trash. And he's taken on Marcin Tybura, who's, almost 41 years old. It's one of those things where it's like Rakic is so much better. Like Rakic is so much better than Tybura. He's so much more skilled. I'm curious to see how he looks at heavyweight. Of course, Tybura, you got to worry about the wrestling, the grappling, but on the feet, Rakic is going to be so much faster. Rakic actually has very good striking, really good kicks as well. He has been knocked out a couple times as of late. There's an injury against Blachowicz, got knocked out against Yuri, against Murzakanov. But fun fact, Tybura, as far as I'm concerned, has 0 knockdowns, right? 0 knockdowns in the UFC. I couldn't find any. Did you?
Let me see.
Which is crazy because he's a heavyweight.
I have him credited with 1 knockdown. He lands 0.06 knockdowns per 15 minutes. So he does have 1 according to my stats.
I got to see who it was against.
Yeah, let's see.
Who was the bum that got knocked down by Tybura?
Somebody that's still
my. Victor Pesta back in 2016, his second fight in the UFC. Victor Pesta. So he did knock down Pesta. He did knock down Victor Pesta.
He knocked him out with a kick.
Oh, Oh, wow. Nice.
Damn, dude. Yeah, because
Okay.
like if Tybura knocks you out, it's with ground and pound. But yeah, he got one against Festa there.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, I got to pick Rakic here. I mean, Tybura looks awful on the feet. He looks slow. He looks tired 2 minutes in. He has a horrible haircut. Quite frankly, I'm not sure how he's still winning. I'm shocked he's still actually getting fights at this point. He just looks so bad, but he beat Mick Parkin, and I was on him against Mick Parkin, and then he armbarred Sergey. He TKO'd Janat to the knees. That's right. So, yeah, I think it's Rakic here, but I think the fight might be awful because you look at Rakic, some of his fights have just been awful. Like that Thiago Santos fight was completely horrible. That was his last win. Nobody did anything in that fight. Like you could have even scored it for Santos just because they looked at each other for 15 minutes. The Ankalaev fight was awful. So I kind of have a funny feeling this is just going to be a terrible fight. Like I want to pick Rakic to get a finish here, but how can I when he hasn't done it in 7 or 8 years? So the over under set at 1.5. The over 1.5 is minus 200. Under 1.5 is plus 174. I'm going Rakic here. I'm just not sure how to play it. He's already minus 345. Money's coming in on him. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight? Another fight that I'm not too excited for, to be honest.
Yeah, it's hard to back Tybura the way that he's been looking lately. You know, he's lost 2 fights in a row. He's lost 3 out of his last 5. The win against Mick Parkin, I don't think he won that fight. And then he got a win against Jonathan Diniz, but he was hurt badly at the beginning of that fight and was lucky enough that Diniz went to the ground with him. Tybura wound up sweeping him, getting on top, and then finishing him in the second round after the second round was over. With brutal ground and pound, and then the doctor stopped that fight. So, I mean, like, there's a scenario where he's lost all 5 of his last 5 fights. You know, because I mean, obviously, I thought I won money on that Parkin fight because I had Tybura at plus money. I mean, I thought he lost that. I don't think it was even really that close. So, Tybura is 40 years old. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, but the career trajectory is clearly headed in the wrong direction. He's basically harmless on the feet, and he's not a high volume wrestler that, you know, like he's really dangerous if he gets into top position on the mat. And that's a possibility against Rakic. He could get this fight to the ground. He could maybe win some minutes in the clinch, use that physicality that Rakic isn't used to seeing in the cage at 205 pounds. But I don't think he has anything that the guys that have been beating Rakic lately don't, you know, like that they have, you know, I mean, like Blachowicz has got a ton of power. Yuri's got crazy power. Ankalaev is one of the most technical fighters in the division. Azamat Murzakanov has crazy KO power and speed that's very deceptive. Tybura doesn't have any of that shit. Tybura's got a good ground game, but shit wrestling. He's got good conditioning, but not really great striking. You know, he's just kind of okay everywhere and has above average conditioning for the division. And if he can get fights to the ground, he can bank that round or finish the fight. So I think that there are paths here for Tybura. I think Rakic is pretty close to being done, Brady. You know, like he tore his own knee on a non-contact injury in the Blachowicz fight. And he, you know, like he hasn't won a fight since 2021. Wow. And that was against Thiago Santos, who was, I think, pretty much almost retired after that fight. So, and Thiago Santos had 2 torn up knees going into that fight.
I thought Santos won that fight, by the way. I mean, that fight was awful. That fight was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like Rakic just has not shown anything lately. So you can't back this guy at minus 300, in my opinion. But it's really hard to back Tybura because he's just so harmless in most areas of MMA unless he can get a takedown and consolidate top position, in which case then he can become very dangerous. But I don't know if he's going to do that against Rakic, who has spent only 5% of his UFC octagon time being controlled by his opponents and has shown 85% takedown defense over his UFC career. So, yeah, man, it's probably Rakic, but I don't think he's going to even finish Tybura. I think it's probably a fucking boring decision.
That's what I think this fight might suck, dude. I think it might stink. Yeah, give me Rakic here. He opened at minus 250, currently minus 345. Some money's coming in on him. Martin Tybura opened up plus 210, currently plus 278. And yeah, Tybura needs to get the fight down to the ground. We really haven't seen like Rakic fight many wrestlers. Like Ankalaev attempted 0 takedowns. I guess Anthony Smith is a grappler. Anthony Smith attempted 2 takedowns. And then he fought the brown bear, Devin Clark.
Yeah, Clark tried to take him down. That did not work out well for Devin.
Yeah, Clark attempted 2 so I think the last time his take was really tested was against the brown bear, Devin Clark.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Rakic should get it done. Rakic money line, it's chalky. Rakic clinic incoming. Has Rakic ever put on a clinic? I think maybe it's Jimmy Manawa was the last clinic.
There was one fight I remember, the Justin Ledette fight.
Oh.
He beat 7 shades of shit out of Justin Ledette. That was the one I remember being like, oh, wow, this guy Rakic might be good. And I don't think he's had a great performance since then. Oh, he did beat Francimar Barroso, who's one of the most boring fighters to ever do it.
Yeah, like this guy had some hype, especially after that Manawa knockout. Started to gain some hype, but since that Manawa knockout, he's like 2-7.
Yeah, it's 2-5 in his last 7 fights, and the wins are over a washed Anthony Smith and a very close fight against Thiago Santos that stunk. So yeah,
and the Smith fight stunk too because Smith kind of pulled guard for 15 minutes. Terrible, dude. Rakic somehow loses this fight. He's going to get the Tybura haircut. Yeah, if he loses the Tybura, I think going forward, if you lose the Tybura, you have to get the Tybura haircut. I think that should be a rule going forward. Rakic, the quitter. I don't think he's a quitter. He just got knocked out by Mirzakhanov, who hits hard. And then, Jiri, getting knocked out by Jiri, there's no shame in that. And then he broke his leg. He's not, I don't think he's a quitter, We got High Mark Water. What is 1-800 Rambler? They're fighting at heavyweight? Yeah, Tybura is not coming down to light heavyweight. Rakic via heel hook. I don't know, man.
Has he ever gotten one of those?
I don't know.
Because something's telling me if Dravi's saying that, like maybe he did get one of those at some point.
That'd be hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
I don't see it though. Yeah, like all of his old wins are like, wow, he has a win over Marcin Prachnio. Did you know that?
The regional scene?
Rakic, yeah, he beat him in round 3 with a knockout back in 2014. He beat Prachnio.
Nobody does that.
I mean, nobody. So maybe he does still have it.
Maybe he does.
But he's lost 4 fights in a row and hasn't won since the year 2021. So,
Rebecki is 1.2x so bad. I need to put all my bank to win. Yeah, he's a big favorite, man. Well, money's pouring in on him today. He was minus 400 when I broke it down. He's already minus 500. But there's other ways to bet that fight, I think. Has anyone checked? Yeah, does Jacoby have a niece that's in danger? Dustin Jacoby?
I don't think so, dude. I heard he broke his arm.
Oh, that one. Maybe that's why he landed 0 punches then. That'll do it.
Yeah, I think he blocked a kick and got his arm broken, and that's why he wound up looking that bad. Because he was just kind of picking and poking with kicks most of the fight, and then he got nuked.
Oh, so that makes sense. So that's why Jacoby did not land a single punch. It's hard to punch with a broken arm. Yeah, no, I remember that.
God, man, fucking Spivak locking up a triangle was just crazy.
That was bad.
I remember. I think it was Bisping who was calling the fight, and he's like, "Looks like he's trying to set up a triangle," and somebody was like, "Yeah, right," and then he locks it on. That was crazy, so bad, man.
That fight almost put me into retirement because I had a bet on Tybura, and it's like, really?
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me, Marcin. You'd be kidding me. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be the co-main event. It is going to be Navajo Sterling going against Jan Blachowicz. We got Sterling, 28 years old, 6'4" with a 79-inch reach. We got Jan Blachowicz, 43 years old, 6'2" with a 78-inch reach. We got Sterling, 15 years younger, 2-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Blachowicz is 1-2 in 2 draws in his last 5 fights. A knockout win against Alexander Rakic, a draw against Ankalaev, a decision loss against Pereira, decision loss against Olberg, and then a draw against Bogdan Guskov. As far as Sterling, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Tuka Tokos, decision win against Ivan Erzlan, decision win against Rodolfo Bellato, knockout win against Bruno Lopez, and then a knockout win against Iwan Kudalaba. So I feel like the prelims of this card are like better than the main card. Like I don't really want to watch Rakic versus Tybura. I really don't want to watch Sterling versus Blachowicz. But yeah, I feel like Sterling's probably getting Blachowicz at the right time. I mean, Blachowicz is the oldest fighter on the roster, 43 and a half years old. He's been dealing with injuries the last several years. I think he had like a neck injury in the what fight did he get? The Glover fight, and that fight was like 5 years ago at this point. Other injuries as well. I think he's coming off of injury, actually. So yeah, I'm worried about Blachowicz. He hasn't won a fight in, what was that, 4 years, and it was against Alexander Rakic due to an injury. Yeah, I'm not like extremely high on Sterling, but kind of think he's just going to pick and poke his way to a decision. I don't think it's going to be the most exciting fight. I don't think Blachowicz is going to be able to take down Sterling here. I think Sterling's just going to do more over 15 minutes. So Sterling's minus 315, Blachowicz plus 255. You shouted out the over when it was out of play. Would you shout out the over?
Minus 135. That's long gone.
It's minus 180 now.
Yeah, and that wasn't that long ago. I shouted it out at minus 135, but the market's got that right. You know, yeah. I think Navajo is pretty much harmless on the feet. He's coming off of a KO win, but you know, like he couldn't knock out guys that he should absolutely be starching in round one. You know, he couldn't knock out Taco Tucos. You know, like he couldn't finish Urslan. You know, it's just the guy is a very technical striker. He's going to win a ton of minutes and bank a ton of rounds at this level. But unless he's fighting somebody that just has absolutely no chin, there's really not much knockout upside for this guy. And Blachowicz is a tough out anyway. So Navajo by decision. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually get a finish here because Jan's cooked, dude. Jan's cooked. I mean, like this guy's just injured and old, and it's over for him. You know, like the guy couldn't even wrestle against Bogdan Guskov. He didn't even try.
That's embarrassing, dude.
I know. It's fucking embarrassing because like that fight was his. I mean, like he could have easily won that. He did not get a win against that guy. And it's not like I'm sure Jan knew like I should probably wrestle this guy, but he just couldn't. His shoulders fucked. He's old. He's slow now. You know, it's like it's over for him. Navajo's better than him everywhere at this point. Probably not on the ground, but that doesn't matter because if he couldn't take down Bogdan Guskov, he's got no fucking chance of taking down Navajo Sterling. You know what the age difference is here, dude?
15 or 16.
15 years, dude. It's like 14 and a half years. You don't see age differences that wide. And that's obviously a massive momentum difference here. As once again, we got a guy in Blachowicz who has not won since the year 2022 going up against a guy in Sterling who has basically got 10 wins since the last time that fucking Blachowicz got a win. I mean, his pro career is less than 4 years. So, you know, it's been almost 4 years since Blachowicz's last win. So, yeah, these guys are at completely different places in their career. And Sterling has the size, the speed, and the technical striking to win the minutes and moments against Jan, and Jan has no grappling upside. So, yeah, it's an easy win for Sterling. I think he's a pretty good parlay piece this week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't bet on 40-year-olds typically.
How about 43-year-olds?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's even a better, like a 40-year-old maybe. Because, like, look at Cub Swanson the last few fights of his career. You can find some 40-year-olds that are going to cash for you. Look at Nick Dalby. But, yeah. A 43-year-old who used to have some grappling upside, but he can't wrestle anymore. A guy who's, like, basically got one arm because he's had 7 shoulder surgeries. Yeah, this is Navajo all day.
Yeah, I mean, whenever these, like, 40-year-olds fight, like, other, like, 37 or 38-year-olds, you know?
Yeah.
But like Sterling's what 28. That's his prime years right there. So yeah, I'm going Sterling, like maybe like a round 3 decision or something like that. I know this fight seems exciting, but it may suck. Yeah, I think it might suck a little bit. Jan Blachowicz fights suck sometimes. You know, they kind of suck sometimes. I got Jan by decision. I think it's a lock. I don't know, man. I mean, this is a couple of years ago. I want to fade Navajo so badly, but Jan is never winning again. I think this might be his last fight.
Probably.
Unpopular opinion. My case for Jan to win is there's nothing that low fight IQ Navajo can throw at him that he hasn't seen yet. He does have low fight IQ. I don't know why he was, willingly grappling with Kudalaba in his last fight. Kudalaba was on his way to being up 2 rounds against Sterling before he choked and quit. If Jan isn't totally done, he has a decent shot. But Weezy made a good point. Like, if you're not wrestling Bogdan Guskov,
Yeah.
are you going to wrestle Navajo here? I don't know. Blahovic, he wrestled in the Pereira fight, but he doesn't really wrestle.
And that one was at elevation, so like I feel like he could have wrestled more if that fight was at sea level, and he might have beaten Pereira there. So it's not like Jan's not still fighting at a high level. He is. He's going to draws with killers like Ankalaev and Guskov. He had a very close fight with Carlos Ulberg. He lost a very close fight against Alex Pereira. So yeah, I mean, like, there is that world where Jan shows up and still looks like that guy that fought Pereira at altitude and went 50-50 with him. That guy that went 50-50 with Ulberg, but the age curve, man, he's still not busting through against any of those guys, and he just keeps getting older. So it just becomes so hard to back him against a 28-year-old kid that doesn't know how to lose.
Jan said his shoulder hurts, his neck hurts, his back hurts, his legs hurt. Everything hurts. Jan can take him down and keep the striking exchanges close. Not
can't take anybody down, man. If you can't take Bogdan Guskov down, you are not taking anybody down ever again. It's like when Stuart Nickel couldn't get a takedown against Lucas Rocha. You knew that he would never get another takedown in the UFC.
Plus 3.5, maybe. We are max betting Sterling by I will never. No, I can't. I got screwed on so many KO props for Sterling. But maybe I'll bet a round 3 decision. Going to be another sad Blahovic fight where he loses 29-28 in a close fight where you come away thinking Blahovic in his prime would have brutalized him. I agree with that take.
Yeah.
Ultimate layup here, but I don't like Navajo. I don't really like Navajo either. Can't bet a 40-year-old man. Yeah, I won't be doing that. All right. Let's move on to the main event, the moment you guys have all been waiting for. If you guys haven't already, be sure to smash the like button for us. Let's take a look at where these likes are at.
Yeah. 150, I'm hoping.
Oh, we're 13 away from 100. Those are good numbers. Those are solid. We're at 137 likes. So let's see if we can get 150. We got maybe about 20 more minutes to get it. So smash the like button for us. Subscribe to the channel. We go live every Sunday now at 7:15 Eastern time. It seems like a lot of people, Weezy, are liking the early start time.
I like it too, man. Because we still got a little bit of night left after we're done with our broadcast. We can have a nice dinner, spend some time with the wife, like that kind of stuff.
How is this the main event? Well, guys, I mean, they're building this card around Uros Medic in Serbia. He's from Serbia, and they're trying to give him a brutal first round knockout win. That's what they're trying to do. But let's talk about it. Uros Medic, Daniel Rodriguez. We got Uros Medic, 33 years old, 6'1", with a 71-inch reach. Daniel Rodriguez, 39 years old, 6'1", with a 74-inch reach. We got Medic 6 years younger, same height, and Rodriguez with a 3-inch reach advantage. We got Medic 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Tim Means. Knockout loss against Puna Soriano. Knockout win against Gilbert Urbina. Knockout win against Muslim Salikov. And a knockout win against Jeff Neal. As far as Dan Rodriguez, he's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Ian Gary. Decision loss to Kelvin Gastelum. Decision win against Alex Barono. Knockout win against Santiago Ponzinibbio. And a decision win against Kevin Holland. So it's weird, man. Like, I haven't... D-Rod hasn't looked great these last several years, but he's on a 3-fight winning streak. It's kind of nuts, but when you dig into those wins a little bit more, it's like Alex Morono's completely washed and done and retired, and he barely beat him. Ponzinibbio's completely washed and done. He was able to knock him out late. And then Kevin Holland apparently came into the fight like highly compromised, like concussion issues. Yeah. And D-Rod added on to the concussion totals in that fight because he dropped Kevin Holland multiple times. But in that third round, Holland had him out multiple times. I went back and watched that fight, and I think it was my biggest loss of all time, Weezy, because I was all over Holland money line. I was all over Holland inside the distance, the under, and you name it. I thought Holland was going to destroy D-Rod, right? And Kevin Holland could have, like in the third round, D-Rod literally was out on his feet twice. And instead of Holland following up with punches or elbows, he tried to do this stupid jump knee multiple times that came nowhere close and only made him more tired. And then at one point, he had the back of D-Rod, and instead of choking him out, he fell off over the top. And I mean, it was embarrassing. But yeah, I mean, D-Rod's on a 3-fight winning streak, but he's now 39 and a half years old. He did half his training camp in a Mexican prison. He was in prison for like 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
Taking more damage. I mean, imagine how many more fights this guy got in at prison. This guy has over 100 fights in prison. He's never lost a prison fight, but this is not a prison fight. He's going against Uros Medic, who's probably one of the most dangerous guys in the division. So, yeah, I think Medic is going to test the chin of Rodriguez. Obviously, if Rodriguez is able to extend this fight, maybe he has a shot. But I mean, Medic just hits so hard. Like, has Jeff Neal woken up yet? Has Muslim Salikov woken up yet? Has Gilbert Urbina woken up? Has any of these guys woken up yet? Especially Jeff Neal. I mean, that was one of the most brutal knockouts of the year. So I like Medic here, but you don't play minus 365 Medic. You take like the under, and why not the under instead? Why not the under, 2.5, something like that? So I might look at a total here because I also think, this guy Medic is super chinny as well. He got dropped by Gilbert Urbina.
Yeah.
He got dropped by Gilbert Urbina. He got sparked by Puna. He got hurt by Turner. I mean, he's gotten hurt a lot. So I think, and he got dropped by, I think, Semmelsberger as well. So yeah, I'd rather take a total than this money line, but I think it's violent, and I think it's probably a Medic win in Serbia. I think the UFC probably get what they want, but what a story it would be if D-Rod came out of the Mexican prison and went out there at 40 years old and pulled off a massive upset in enemy territory and finished Uros Medic. What a story that would be, Weezy.
What did he get locked up for?
A little bag of weed, he said.
Oh, for fuck's sake. In Mexico?
Yeah, that's what he said. Crazy.
I mean, come on. That is just weird, dude. That's weird. Like getting locked up at 39 years of age is bad. It's minus EV, and fighting Uros Medic, the fighting pride of Novi Sad, Serbia, in Belgrade, Serbia, minus EV as well. That's a long trip to go out there and get knocked out by this young man, Uros Medic. So I think it's going to be Uros first round KO. I think he's going to put on a show for the home fans here. It's a lot. It's a lot to ask of Uros, though. I mean, like this is huge. He's headlining the first card that's ever taken place in Serbia in the history of the UFC. So, that place is going to be packed. I guarantee that Uros probably is never going to have nerves before a fight like he's going to have before this one. But the great thing about Uros is I don't worry about the nerves because this guy doesn't have to fight any different than he always has already fought. He's a very aggressive striker, a very powerful striker. He's going to do what he does well, and he's going to knock this guy out because Daniel Rodriguez is 39 years old. And he's been, he's been finished before, but even in these recent fights, like almost getting finished by Holland, who had been knocked out in training prior to that fight and was, highly compromised. Guys like Ponzinibbio having some success against him, Morono having a little bit of success against him. I think Uros Medic is much faster and much more dangerous than any of those guys right now. So I think it's going to be an Uros KO, and I hope the crowd goes absolutely nuts in Belgrade, Serbia, when Uros Medic finds this finish.
Oh, they will. Medic opened up minus 500, currently minus 365. D-Rod opened up plus 375, currently plus 290. Over under set at 1.5. Of course, the under 1.5, Wheezy. It opened up at plus 157.
Wow, in an Uros Medic fight.
I don't know why they do that. And so it opened up at plus 157. It was there for 1 minute. It went to plus 140, and that was there for 1 minute. And it went from plus 140 to minus 160 in the span of a minute.
Yeah.
Minus
probably just put a positive instead of a negative next to the number on accident,
Yeah, the new intern. Yeah. So, yeah, the under minus 160, it makes sense to me. Makes sense. It should be probably minus 160. Pipe the like button. Yeah, pipe it up. Come on. Puna Hailey Soriano. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Either KO, either by KO. Could be, it's going to be so chalky, but yeah, it could be a good parlay piece. Medic isn't a big name, but he will always entertain. Yes, 100%. He's a violent guy, man. I like violent fighters. Kevin Holland can never be forgiven for the D-Rod fight. Yeah, I will never forgive him. 100%. I mean, that was horrible, man. That was terrible. That was a big loss for me. And that was on a card where I hit like 8 bets in a row and I still lost money because Kevin Holland did what he did. It was absolutely terrible. Holland hurt my pockets that weekend. Same. Most frustrated I've ever been with. How does Holland lose to how does Holland lose to Daniel Rodriguez? It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. D-Rod just collecting a check at this point. Well, when I heard his interview, he seems hungry. He seems like he just had a big win against Kevin Holland. He was really trying to get out of prison to get back in there, but it took him like 8 months, which is crazy. Yeah, those prison fights. I mean, there's some scrappy guys in there, but not high level for sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Santiago Ponzinibbio just get brutally KO'd very recently this year? If Ian Gary can KO, then what is Medic going to do? Yeah, I think Medic should spark him, man. D-Rod for the win. Oh, it'd be crazy. It'd be a big upset. Taking the under. Yeah, I'm looking at the under myself. I got D-Rod all day. Euro's chin is too suspect, and he likes to brawl. You never know, man. You never know. D-Rod's not really some knockout artist, though. Like, who is D-Rod really knocked out outside of Ponzi? He knocked out, was it Preston Parsons, maybe?
Didn't he get was it a submission over Parsons?
D-Rod doesn't really knock many people out.
Preston Parsons, you're right. He got a Preston Parsons knockout. Then there was that Dwight Grant fight where he almost got knocked out like 3 different times and then came back and knocked out Grant. And then he got that submission by guillotine over Tim Means in his UFC debut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Where Medic tries to conserve himself. He strikes me as one of those guys that won't do that. Like, even remember when Torres got his first 5-round fight?
Yeah.
It finished under 1.5. So.
Yeah, I mean, like you would expect it to. I mean, I don't think that Medic is worried about this fight going 4 rounds. And if I were him, I'd be like, you know what? So what if it does? I'm fighting a 39-year-old jailbird. He's going to be more tired than me.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to. I hope he doesn't conserve himself. It just wouldn't make sense. Eros KO1 might be my biggest bet ever. Let's see the prices on it, man. Let's see the prices on it. Yes, he did. I had a big bet on Medic like KO there, and my heart just skipped a beat whenever Urbina dropped. I was like, "You got to be kidding me! You got to be kidding me! Don't tell me Urbina's about to finish you." But he got back up and knocked out Urbina like 2 seconds later. All right, so we did it. We easy went through all 14 fights, so the show did go a little long, but we had a lot to talk about, a lot of newcomers, a lot of stuff like that. 152 likes. Let's go. Thank you guys so much. But now it is time for the most important part of the show. We're going to see who's going to get piped on site, Colton G style. So what we're going to do is, Weezy, you're going to pick 2 options. I'm going to pick 2 options, and we're going to let the chat vote to see who's going to pipe their opponent on site. So who is your first option?
Uros Medic to pipe his opponent Daniel Rodriguez on site.
So Uros Medic. All right, let me pull this up. So
Novi Sad, Serbia, stand up.
Stand up. Holy crap.
What happened?
Noah Gugnon is now the favorite.
Whoa, really? He was just plus 140, wasn't he?
Yeah, Gugnon opened up at plus 375. He's now minus 120. Well, now minus 110. So it's a pick 'em now, but he opened up plus 375. He's now minus 110. Somebody dropped a bomb on one Noah Gugnon. Wow.
He's a good fighter, man.
They're both good fighters.
Both of them are. Yeah, they're both really good fighters. And Janicic is Montenegrin, Brady, which that's part of Serbia now. It's Serbia and Montenegro. So he's basically a Serbian fighter.
Nice. So that, I mean, it probably should be a pick. I mean, both guys are so dangerous. Okay. So for the piping, I'm gonna go with one of the scariest guys I've ever seen. That's gonna be one Michael Oliveira. to pipe Oban Elliott.
I mean, I'm going to have to go with another Serbian, and it's got to be Vlasto Cepo. Vlasto Cepo, and he's just going to pipe Gilbert Urbina on site. Poor Gilbert Urbina. Probably going to spend some time in a Serbian hospital after this fight.
Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness. And I think we should just go with those three, man. There's not really anything else. Yeah, we'll just go with those three are perfect. Those three are perfect. So
beautiful.
All right, so there's going to be three. Take a vote, guys. Let's see how much people we got on YouTube. We have 206 on YouTube. I'm expecting like 50 votes. I think a quarter of you guys, if a quarter of you guys vote, I'd be pretty happy with that. So while we do that, Weezy, let's come up with some options for a potential milking. So who is going to milk their opponent? Last week we had Walter Walker, textbook. Like when we're talking about a milking, that's what we want. That's what we need. We need that. Exactly what Walter Walker did. It's just absolutely textbook. So, well, what is your first option for a potential milking?
Yeah, I'm taking the easiest one on the board here and going with another Serbian, Brady. Jovan Leka to absolutely just destroy Alexander Poppeck, who's undersized for a heavyweight, and even average-sized heavyweights are going to be undersized against Jovan Musk. So I'm looking for Jovan to get a win here and really kind of just milk this dude on the mat.
Yeah, that's what he does. He milks people, man. He
does.
People. I'm going to go with Nina Milosevic. I feel like she can milk Hailey Cowan. So I'll go Nina.
Beautiful.
Milosevic there for the milking.
Yeah, and then I'll definitely Mateusz Rebecki. If he wants to take the easy way out, he's going to grapple against Kyle Prepolec, and he could take him down and milk him down there.
Yeah, I love all of these, man. I love all these. And then I think we should stick with those three, to be honest.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, I think we're reaching if we go with anybody else for a milking this week.
Yeah, those three are perfect, man. I think they all have a good opportunity to milk for sure. Male, it could be male. It can be male, female. We don't discriminate. Mm-hmm. We do not discriminate. What else we got up in here? Uros and PQD are near guaranteed pipings. I voted for Uros though. Don not liking the piping options. What you don't like? What are the options? Uros Medic, Mike Oliveira. You don't think either of these guys can pipe? Who are you liking? I think Don was liking D-Rod.
Yeah, he likes D-Rod. And there's, I mean, it's the age curve. He's on the wrong end of the age curve, but he's probably fought the better brand of competition. So,
I mean, if the fight was taking place in a prison, I'm going D-Rod all day. But
yeah, I don't know. I think D-Rod's going to get shanked.
Oh, gosh. All right. So we're going to end this piping because it's not even close, guys. It's not even close at all. Only 10% are taking the wild man. The very loco.
Vlasto Cepo?
Only 9%. Wow.
Dude, he's probably piping violently. When you watch it, like when he knocks people out, man, he knocks them out. He's fun to watch.
I think people are just worried about the trash ground game.
Yeah. Well, it's terrible. But I said, man, he fights when like somebody that smelled bad cabbage and is very angry. And I mean, like, I think he's going to do that again.
Second place is Michael Oliveira at 28%. And then in first place is Uros Medic at 63%.
Yeah. It's in Serbia. We got to go with a Serbian, and why not the one that's headlining the card?
Yep, makes sense to me. So the piping of the week, and last week again was Islam Dulatov. So I'm hoping D-Rod doesn't freaking pull out. It's going to be Uros Medic to pipe, Daniel, D-Rod, Rodriguez on site. There it is.
Let's go.
That's the piping of the week.
Okay.
And then for the milking of the week, our three options are going to be Milosevic. The other option is going to be Jovan Leka. And then the other option is going to be Mateusz Rebecki. So make sure you guys vote for the milking as well. And while we do so, Weezy, do you want to pull up some underdog? Do they have anything for underdog yet this
I
week?
don't see anything yet, man.
Oh.
Yeah, man, they're a little bit late this week, but we do have some WNBA. So right now, if you want to go higher or lower on Shakira Austin at 15.5 points, maybe you could take Olivia Miles at 17.5 points if you want to go. And then there's Awa Pham. They're saying 6.5 rebounds. I don't know who the hell any of these people are. That's the problem.
Oh, goodness.
Should we just bet unders because they all stink?
No, we could have the sheriff would know who these girls are.
Who the hell is Flo J. Johnson? There's a apostrophe in her first name, like she's Ludovit Klein.
Oh gosh, I don't know who any of these chicks are. So I guess we can't talk MMA. I don't know.
We got some tennis. Do you know anything about tennis?
Well, you know Brittany Griner.
Who?
Brittany Griner.
Oh yeah. That's the one that that's the one that got locked up in Russian prison, and the one that says that Hokett says she's a dude.
Yeah, so you know Griner. Let's see, what else do they got? Yeah, nothing much. You know Brianna Stewart.
Who?
Brianna Stewart, legend.
I don't know who that is.
A legend of the game.
I'm looking at tennis right now. Who the hell is Alejandro Tabilo? And he's going up against somebody named Greek Spore.
Oh gosh,
I don't know who these people are. Unfortunately, I got nothing for you guys right now.
Well, if they like WNBA or hockey, check out Underdog Fantasy. Use that code DFSBTN. Get yourself 50 free bucks. Looks like UFC will probably be dropping tomorrow. Then usually they have it out, but it's a weird card. Like
it is.
I feel like people are late this week. So.
And not only that. The Bet Online, who was always first to market, Brady, they just got their over-unders out during the show. So maybe we'll see something on Underdog later on tonight or by tomorrow morning, probably.
Yep. And no totals are really sticking out to me, which is a shame. Just a shame. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see who you guys voted for the milking of the week. Actually, we can. All right. So the milking of the week. A two-way tie for second place.
Okay.
Two-way tie for second place. It's going to be between Jovan, Leka, and Nina Milosevic, both at second place. In first place is going to be Mateusz Rebecki to milk Kyle Prepolec.
Yeah, Prepolec's got a bad ground game, and Rebecki needs a win. He's lost 3 in a row, Brady, so he can't mess around here.
Prepolec on.
He stands in front of Prepolec and gives him a boxing match. He's going to give Kyle a chance to win.
Yep. Milking of the week, Mateusz Rebecki to milk Kyle Prepolec on site. Piping of the week, Murs managed to pipe Daniel D. Rodriguez on site. There we go, guys. So we're almost 3 hours in. So I'm going to be taking like a mini vacation. I'll be back Friday, but my most confident picks video will be dropping on Tuesday, and I'm planning on going live on Thursday for my best bet video. And then my prediction video is already out, and then I've already done a ton of work. I wanted to get everything done before I left, so I'll be gone for a couple days. So don't bother me, for the love of God. For the love of God,
don't bother him.
Don't
let
bother
the man
me.
Enjoy his vacation.
Please, let me enjoy it. So that's what I'm doing. Weezy, what are you doing this week? Anything? And then also let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube at Uncle Weezy. You can find me on Rumble at Uncle Weezy. You can find me on X at MMA Weezy, and you can find my probability stats and content package on OddsShopper.com. Looking to stack cash tickets like flapjacks for this UFC Belgrade card. It feels like it's going to be a very violent one. We might have to pay up just to get some unders, but I think while the price might not be right, I think we're going to look like geniuses for betting some of these unders. So really looking forward to this card. I'll probably put out some kind of like I'll probably put out a poll on Twitter and ask what fight maybe the crowd wants a balls deep breakdown for. Do one of those for free on YouTube this week. And I'll go live on Thursday night for my Just the Tip Greasy 4-leg parlay like I always do on my Uncle Wheezy YouTube and Rumble channels. So, yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Smash that thumbs up on your way out and that subscribe. Leave us a comment down below. And those are the best ways to support the show. If you don't already have that Underdog account with code DFSBTN, get those $50 in bonus funds when you play with your first $5 entry. Who doesn't want $50 in bonus funds?
Get it. This guy does.
Win-win.
This guy hates you, man.
Cabbage is the worst. I can't stand cabbage either. And anybody that cooks it is a bad person. And I'm about to put that on Twitter. I'm going to go out. I'm just going to say on Twitter, very plain and matter of factly, if you cook cabbage, fuck you.
Thanks, man. It's much needed little getaway for a couple days,
There you go.
Because we got Contender Series coming up, and it's gonna be a grind these next 10 weeks, man. It's gonna be 10 weeks of hell, researching an extra 5 fights a week. So guys, do us a favor, smash like on your way out, subscribe on your way out, leave us a comment if you guys are watching on the replay, check out Underdog, and we will talk to you guys soon. Thank you for watching. See you later.